not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show live on Thursday, October 16th, 2025, as we are just an hour away from the Major League Baseball playoffs. First pitch in what is going to be an epic day of baseball. I'm really stoked about that. We have major breaking news in college football as Curt Cignetti signs a massive extension at Indiana. And here on the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, I am not surprised by much. I think we have talked about this in sports. I'm not surprised Curt Cignetti got a contract extension. Make no mistake about it, that is not shocking. An 8-year deal that pays him $11.6 million per season. Jake, this feels like an overreach to make sure that he doesn't go to Penn State, which I don't think he was going to go to Penn State to begin with. I'm really surprised by this deal from Indiana.
Yeah, well, I think you can't leave it in the hands of the highest bidder, if you're Indiana. And I think that Penn State is clearly in a situation where, they need a coach and they obviously value Curt Cignetti for obvious reasons. And I think that you just kind of had to put that to bed and show a public, it's almost like a public show of force, if you will, right? Like, hey, we're going to extend our guy. We're going to take care of him. We're going to make him one of the highest paid head coaches in college football. We're just going to put the whole thing to bed. So then that way we can move on with the season. We can move on with chasing a national championship this year, which is absolutely what they're trying to do. And we can get on with it. But I do think that 8 years is definitely hefty. I do think that this continues the narrative that universities are more than happy to do, super long deals and deal with the ramifications of the buyout later on, if it for some reason were to go sideways, because I feel like that's what we've seen multiple times now in college football. Started with Jimbo, and we've just seen several of them rattled off now. The latest, obviously, James Franklin. So I just think it's hey, lock your guy up, and if you have to deal with the buyout, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think the details of this contract are shocking. It's an 8-year extension. He is now one of the highest paid coaches in college football, and he's going to average $11.6 million, and its total value is $93 million for a gentleman who has won nothing. He has won nothing. And I think when we look at this story on Curt Cignetti, I am not bitter about it. I would love to have a $93 million deal based not at all on merit. This is where we are, right? This is where we are in college football now. We overpay. We are terrified that we're going to lose our coach to Penn State. So we're going to throw him money off of a season and a half of college football. We're making Curt Cignetti the highest of the highest paid. We're putting him in a realm that only rarefied air exists. And he has won nothing. He hasn't won a Big Ten championship. He really just won his first big game over Oregon. And you just handed him $93 million and a new 8-year extension. Like, I'm not even trying to be a red ass about this. I think this is what college football's become now. And you look at the transfer portal era, you look at how much money is being thrown around to fire James Franklin. He's making $20,000 a day. There's some offset language on that when he gets a new deal. Like, he's making right now, James Franklin's being paid $20,000 a day not to coach football. That's who we are. And this deal with Cignetti can only go poorly. He could win a national championship in the next 5 years, and I don't think it's worth $93 million. I don't. He would have to go on a run like a Nick Saban style run. 5-7, 3-5, 5-7, 7 out of 11. He'd have to get just crazy. And I mean, you'd have to build new trophy cases at Indiana. You'd have to, I mean, I don't even know what you would have to do to recoup your $93 million investment. I don't think there's any way. I don't think there is any way that you make this money back, because I just don't think he's proven to be a championship caliber coach at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the big indictment with this deal is like, hey, like, this guy hasn't won anything yet, really. And we just gave him an 8-year deal and almost, pushing $100 million at 93. And I just think it's one of those deals where there's a lot of risk. Certainly. I think that the Big Ten is doing this thing where they're paying their coaches a lot of money. And I think that again, not to say that Indiana would do anything like what Michigan's done or, anything that happened at Penn State would happen at Indiana. But I just think that we have seen in college football that there is there's a certain risk factor. I mean, things happen. We see these events go down in college football, and then we're like, oh man, it's buyouts $1 million gazillion dollars. Woe is me. And it's like, no, dude, like, you guys came up with this deal. Like, this guy, and again, I'm not privy to all the behind the scenes details, but I would agree. I don't think this guy was like, off his rocker to go to Penn State. I think he had been pretty prideful about what he's doing at Indiana and where their team is at, coming off of a big win against the Ducks. So, like, I don't know, man. I just think that we're, everyone's like, oh, well, he's making more than Saban made. And, but it's like, yeah, at the same time, the market's also higher than when Saban was coaching.
But
so
you guys understand, they bumped his pay $3.3 million a year. They took him from 8.3 to 11.6. I'm outraged by it. Listen, I understand that you wanted to do everything you could do to keep Curt Cignetti at Indiana. Totally get it. You didn't have to, you bumped him $3.3 million. You don't think he'd have stayed for $10 million a year? For an $80 million deal, you had to go to $90 million on this. Yeah, and
Google me.
I guess. I mean, a $15 million per season buyout. Okay. He's not going anywhere. Congratulations. You're paying Curt Cignetti $90 million.
Yeah, I just think it's really irresponsible overall. I mean, listen, I understand. Hey, you got to extend him or he's going to get poached. I get it. I don't even disagree with that.
$90 million.
But $90 million is way over the top. I mean, I tend to agree that you just need to get him in the neighborhood of highest paid coaches on the low end. I would have looked at it and I would have said, okay, hey, here's the top 10 highest paid coaches in college football. Let's get him in the lower third of that percentile. Let's get him in. Let's make him like the 8th highest paid head coach in college football or something. And then when he wins a natty, then we can bump it again. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be, because the problem is now it's like, what's the reward for winning a natty now? If it's not financial, I mean, just to say that you did it, like, I don't know. I just think that I'm sure I haven't even looked at the comments section yet, but I'm sure everyone's saying that we hate the Big Ten and we're pissing all over this. But for me, I look at it and I say, everyone was outraged that James Franklin is making 20 bands a day, but then we're all sitting here complaining that we're crapping on this. Like, it is fiscally irresponsible, in my opinion, to pay unproven commodities. And again, I don't disagree. Great win over Oregon. But again, that's a regular season win. That's not a postseason win. And with all due respect, like, you're not going to get some free pass in the college football playoff this year. You're going to play a better team, and there's going to be a lot more on the line. So when you're paying What is it? 11.3 a year, I believe.
11.6.
11.6 a year to be a one and done in the CFP if he doesn't win. Then how celebrated is this going to be? That's my point. And then to double down on it, bro, if Cignetti's making this, what's Ryan Day making? Ryan Day's got to get paid more now.
Here are the coaches. These are the coaches that are making less than Curt Cignetti. Dabo Sweeney at Clemson at 11.2. Steve Sarkisian at Texas at 10.8. Dan Lanning at 10.4, Oregon. Kalen DeBoer, 10.2, Alabama. Brian Kelly, 10.1, LSU. Bill Belichick at $10 million at Carolina. And Lane Kiffin at $9 million at Ole Miss. He is now on par with Lincoln Riley at USC, Ryan Day at Ohio State, who's making 12.5, and Kirby Smart, who's making $13 million. He is the third highest paid coach in college football. Fuck out of here with it. You got to be kidding me. I am telling you, it is not, in my opinion, this is, you better win national championships because you cannot justify this money at this point in his career. Sorry, man. I think that I understand that Curt Cignetti has brought something to Indiana that they've never had before. But honest to goodness, you married the first girl you smashed in your entire life. You're the 25-year-old who's never been able to score, and now Sheila, the Walmart manager, said yes, and so you put a ring on it. That's what Curt Cignetti represents. I don't know.
Been won.
I don't know how else to describe this because he's won nothing. He's done nothing. He has shown you very little. And now you're hooked to this dude and you're paying him $93 million. This is stupid business. Yeah. This is, in my opinion, you cannot. He'd have to win multiple national championships to make this worth it. And hell, he's in position now to win a playoff game. He's in position now to compete for a Big Ten championship. And I understand it's only October 16th, but they haven't scheduled anybody. And the Big Ten's scheduling, orgasm where they don't play anybody now is gonna come to roost. But this just feels like is Curt Cignetti irreplaceable at Indiana?
For them, he is, apparently.
Because that's what you're saying with this. That's what you're saying with this. We don't feel like we can do better than Curt Cignetti, so we're going to overpay him. We're going to make him the third highest coach in the sport. And I am amazed by it.
Yeah, I think that you at a minimum with this deal have to win 2 national championships to make it worth it. I think you got to have at least 2, if not 3, to make it worth it. And I think I think you're exactly right. I mean, it does have all the makings of, hey, small time program, landed a hot shot in Curt Cignetti, and now he's got some traction. And they won a big game, and now, a position came open. So they were like, nope, we can't afford to lose you, bud. So here's a bunch more money, and it's like, all right, well, now every time they lose, I got to bring up the contract, right? I got to start being like, all right, well, you're paid this much money and you haven't won a national championship. So, look, I get that Indiana hasn't really had a football team the last however long, 30 years or something, 20 years, 10 years, however long it's been. And I understand that he has resurrected them, back to relevance. Totally get it. And I can respect that. At the same time, though, there is a reason that certain guys are paid the money they're paid, right? And there's a clear outlier here between Curt and the other guys. Dabo's got natties. Ryan Day's got natties. Kirby's got natties. Right? Those guys have all won. And now you're talking about being paid more than, a lot of guys who have way more experience and have done more in college football. So
It's wild.
Everyone's going to say, I guarantee it, everyone's going to be like, oh, well, Monty, the Big Ten TV deal or the private equity thing, like they've got money. Who cares? Like, what's the big deal? And what I just don't understand how people miss on this is it's not just about the fact that whether the Big Ten can afford it or not, or whether Indiana can afford
That's
it.
right.
It's the premise of it, bro. Like you just said, hey, we're going to pay this guy, basically more than all of 3 of the top head coaches in college football because we don't want him leaving. Now, I understand you don't want him leaving, but you have to be smarter than paying this guy $93 million over 8 stinking seasons when he's not won anything. So that to me is the issue. It's not a Big Ten sucks or they can't afford it or it's like the whole, it's like the car narrative, right? Hey, like when you spend money and you have a really nice car and people want to hate on you because it's expensive, right? It's like, okay, well the premise is, hey, I wanted to buy the car, like it's cool. Like the car's worth it, like I've earned it, like it's not a problem. Like I've won my national championship in life because I can afford it comfortably. But Curt's not done that, dude. Curt hasn't proven himself yet to a level that justifies this caliber of pay. So if I get, if you put the AP on the screen, if I get Indiana versus Bama and they lose, or if I get, better yet, let me double down, Indiana versus Ohio State in the college football playoff or in the Big Ten championship game, and you lose that game, I will guarantee you this, the next time we do a show after that game, I will be on his ass saying, hey, dude, you're getting paid all this money. You just lost that game. What are we doing? That's the difference, dude. You're at Indiana. Now, if you were getting paid this much by Ohio State, probably wouldn't have as much of a problem because Ohio State definitively can afford it. And Ohio State definitively is one of the best programs in the country. That's the difference. It's not that hard.
This deal guarantees 90% of his compensation should he be fired. That's wild for a guy. And again, I don't even dislike Curt Cignetti. And I think Curt Cignetti has done nice things at Indiana. Like he's made them relevant.
I'm even down to say that he deserved a raise. I'm good with that. I'm cool with that.
But this guy has been Indiana University, Purdue, Elon, James Madison, Indiana for 1.5 seasons. And you start looking at the fact that, he's 17-2 and he's 11-1 in conference. That's awesome. Went to the playoff. That's great. He has literally done nothing, and he's now the 3rd highest paid. This is out of control.
Okay, so he wins a national championship this year. Let's say he wins a national championship this year, gets poached by a better opportunity next year, right? Let's say that next season something comes open that he wants to go and take. Bro, you're on the hook for $83 million. You understand that? Like $83 million, bro.
Yeah,
a lot of money, bro.
Listen, I hope for Indiana's sake he wins. I really do, because this stuff, when a guy has this profile and has done this little, these risks are massive.
But hey, congratulations to Curt. You're never going to have to work again. So great job. Great job. You know? I mean, great job, dude. Honestly.
Yeah. Tony says Fed keeps printing more and more money, destroying the middle class, and head coach extensions will grow into the $100+ million eventually. There you are. People with full outrage over what someone else pays someone. Like we are regulators of what someone should be paid. I also thought we agreed that contracts should be honored. I'm not outraged because somebody got paid. This is a terrible business decision. I don't begrudge the guy. I tell you all the time, we got to stop shaming people for being rich. Am I shaming Curt Cignetti in any way, shape, or form? No.
Oh.
Go get your bag. This is a really bad business decision for
This
Indiana.
isn't a Cignetti conversation. This is an Indiana making a dumbass decision with this contract decision. Because that's what this is, dude.
This is not knowing who you are and what you are. That's what this is. And I feel very strongly history, you don't pay Jimbo what they paid him. Oh, you do. They're paying him. How does that work out?
Yeah.
Like you're asking for trouble, man. I mean, I do not by any measure think that Curt Cignetti is a villain here. I think it is outrageous that Indiana paid him this money. No, your profile does not indicate that you should be paying this money. It just simply does not.
Yeah.
And I think that when you look at where Indiana is as a program, you're not a $93 million program. They have done, I don't mean to be redundant, boys. They've done nothing. And it's these kind of business decisions that always come back to kick you in the balls because it feels good right now. Again, I'll just keep saying it feels good. She likes you. She says that she wants to go to homecoming with you and you're going to go home and after the dance, you're going to smash. And now you guys are going to be tied to each other for 18 more years of financial obligations, right? That's what this feels like. And you're not Ryan Day, who just now won a championship.
You are not Marcus Freeman, bro. You're not Marcus Freeman.
I'm amazed by it. And hey, it is what it is. You know, again, I just look at the fact that he is paid like, do you understand, you guys, that they paid him $3 million more than James Franklin was making at Penn State? You paid him more to stay in Indiana than they would have paid him at Penn State. Like, this is just a bad business decision, man. You 8.3 to 11.6. That is from a Yugo to a Benz AMG, dude. That is a huge amount of money. James, how have I been kicked in the balls? Dude, don't start. It's very early in the show.
Bro,
it's very
how do you
early
graduate from butt buzzers to getting kicked in the balls, dude? Like,
I have no idea, you know. Yeah. TJ Beck, we have to realize on Curt, he's 64. I bet he only goes 5 more years. I think that's what Indiana's betting on, short term, not long term. Okay. I'm hoping for Indiana's sake that he wins multiple national championships because Indiana doesn't have the financial wherewithal to sustain mediocrity. And this league, I will just continue to tell you, UCLA's coming, USC's coming, Oregon's coming, Washington's coming, Ohio State's there, Michigan, I hope they're dead. Penn State, they're all better programs than Indiana. And they're all down, with the exception of Ohio State. Michigan's down. Penn State's down. Oregon's down. Washington's down. SC's down. UCLA's down. They're all this is my point. UCLA and Indiana. Right now, today, obviously Indiana's in a better spot. UCLA is going to have money, and they're going to hire a significantly better coach than they've ever had. And USC is already winning. They look significantly better. Now, can they beat Notre Dame? We'll find out. But you better remember, I'm not worried that Rutgers is going to steal Indiana's thunder. I'm worried that Indiana is not one of the 7 best teams in the Big Ten next season.
Mm-hmm.
Or the season after that. Because, again, yeah. Yep, is what it is. IU is still 4th best in the Big Ten. I don't know if that's the case or not.
It's not. Listen, dude, it's when you're talking about contracts, it's all about what the dude has done. And specifically, what have you done for me lately? And I don't think this is hard to understand, man. I think people want to be a stick in the mud. People want to be, they want to be a pain in the ass about this and try to fight us on this. But the reality is there's no way to justify this contract for him. You can come up with any kind of argument you want. You can say that we hate the Big Ten. You can say whatever the hell you want, dude. There is nothing factual to justify the raise at this level. I agree that he should have gotten a raise. I'd have been at 10, not 11.3, and I certainly wouldn't have been at 11.3 for 8 years. I'd have been at 10 for 4 years. That's what I'd have been at.
I understand overpaying the guy. I 100% understand overpaying him. But, this goes back to what I said yesterday when I talked about Mark Cuban. This is like this private money deal today. This is why and Michigan's Board of Regents might have hit the nail on the head today, because as much as a bunch of scumbag losers as all the leadership at Michigan is, they said today in their meeting, we have a spending problem in this league. We don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. And I wholeheartedly agree with that in Indiana's case. Boy, did you just back up the argument not to have private money come into the Big Ten. Because if you're going to get private money and you're going to spend it on paying, understand what you did here. You've now twice extended Curt Cignetti. You have paid him like he's the best coach in the country. And he has not won a playoff game. He has not won a Big Ten championship. And he's not the best team in the Big Ten right now. And you paid him like that. That's what I'm struggling with. And maybe the cheating scumbag losers in Ann Arbor got it right. We have a spending problem. Maybe that's exactly right.
Yeah, I think that I think that the private equity thing, as it relates to having a spending problem, I mean, there's definitely smoke coming out about it just being kind of like a, people having fear, I should say, that it's a payday loan kind of situation, that you're getting, you're just getting this payment. And then, if you're unable to build equity off the payment to repay the value, now you're in a really bad spot. And, you combine that type of a situation with, a spending problem in the league. And now you've taken a league that clearly is in a reasonable spot financially before any of this private equity nonsense. And, and now you're just not in a good spot. And that's why I say, like, there's a difference between running a league that's got a lot of revenue and just not running it well versus running a league, with private equity and having, like, agreeing to a certain amount of growth on that deal. Having commitment that way is a very dangerous game to play in college football.
Yeah, I'm shocked by it. I am shocked by it. Let's get your thoughts on Indiana before we move on. And the obvious secondary question here is, what does this do to Indiana? I've been telling you all week, Curt Cignetti's not going to Penn State. He's not. I don't believe he was ever a real candidate for Penn State, so I don't think it changes their calculus in hiring a head coach at all. And again, I'm going to go right to this question here. Can Penn State improve on James Franklin? Can they go over and beyond James Franklin? Who I would also point out is doing an interview on College Game Day this week. So that should be fun. I don't know, Jake. Without Curt Cignetti, my opinion doesn't change. I think they're going to have a really tough time improving on what James Franklin did there.
Yeah, I definitely think, not only improving on it, but finding a candidate that, has any type of track record that James was able to put together. I obviously his shortcomings in big games are obvious, but the reality is you were in contention every single year. You were in a place where,
certainly,
I believe it was looking yesterday, I think it was 8 of his 12 seasons, they were a double-digit win team, which, part of that's the Big Ten, but part of that is they had good teams. And, you had some greats come through there, right? Abdul Carter, Saquon Barkley, like you've had some guys. And
He's
I
put
think,
dudes in the NFL.
yeah. So like, the program wasn't really in that bad of a spot. I just think that people were tired of getting to the final week of the CFP selection and not being put in. And then when you finally got in, you were unable to finish the job. And even if they had, even if he had won a national championship, I'm curious, like what the leash would have been overall, because then the conversation would have been, okay, well, now you've won one, now where do we go from here? And we've seen what happened with Ryan Day. Ryan Day was on a similar trajectory of getting there, but then never winning and finally won. And now we haven't had to talk about him this year. So I don't know, man. I think it's if you look at, everyone's still on the Matt Rule train, which I understand, but I, obviously it doesn't seem like he's that interested. I think at that point, then you're probably looking at, a lot of people like Dan Mullen, but I'm not sure that he's qualified enough to do this, even with his time at Florida. Just with where they are, like they're in a really unique position. Like this is not see the advantage Cignetti had with Indiana was, hey, they weren't anything. So anything is better than nothing. And that's what is kind of fueling
Interesting.
His success. The difference is at Penn State, dude, you've been in contention for the CFP basically every year for the last 5 years, and you fired the guy because it just wasn't good enough. That's a totally different situation.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a really tough time improving on James Franklin. Now, you need to find somebody who can win big games, because James Franklin, and I say only, one of his only flaws was he couldn't win big games against significant opponents. I mean, you're thinking of Matt Rule is clearly still the number one candidate there. He doesn't exactly have a sparkling track record against top opponents. But can he go and recruit Abdul Carter? Can he? Like, that's the biggest question about the next guy, because I think whoever they hire is going to have all the money, the facilities, the fan base, you name it, they're going to have it at Penn State. So there's almost no excuse not to win. And I think when you hear the name today, the new name, I just don't believe this can be at all true, that Urban Meyer is a candidate. Well, because when he was at Florida pre the knuckle deep scandal, pre the disaster that was Joe Paterno covering up sexual assault of minor children for 30 years.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer was politicking for that job. And I think that's all this is. I do not believe that Urban Meyer is ever going to coach another college football team. He's making money. He's playing golf. He is living life. I don't think he ever comes back. So I don't know what it would take for me to believe that Urban's a legitimate candidate. I just don't think he is.
Well, and I just think, obviously Urban is an iconic, Ohio State guy. So, I mean, set all the shenanigans and inappropriateness aside, you can't at Penn State hire a guy like Urban to be your head coach, dude. That's just not. I just don't know how how do you sell it to the fans? How do you sell it to the public? How do you say, yeah, you beat our ass all those years in Ohio State. Why don't you come be on our team? And then you get to answer questions about, like, fostering a violent environment at Florida. Some of the drama that went down at and then obviously the Jaguar situation in the NFL. Like, I don't know, dude. I just think it's a really tough, it's a really tough sell. And I think that, Pervin is the ultimate poster child of, like, hey, this guy could be an incredible hire, but it's never going to happen because it just doesn't make sense. And so that's why I say, like, we think that Indiana took a risk paying Cignetti what they paid him. Like, Penn State is going to have to overpay to go and get a guy that is competent enough to do this job at the level they need it done. That's what I think people don't understand. Like, dude, we're talking about, like, having to overpay to go and get the guy that they really feel like can make a difference, because I just don't think that going and getting, Dan Mullen after James Franklin, Dan Mullen doesn't quite have the goods. It doesn't really have the ring to it that, like even Matt Rule has. That's what I don't quite understand, how they do this.
And I guess you and I are going to fight to the death on this one. I think Matt Rule would be Matt Rule. I'm not going to call Matt Rule a home run hire. He would be a really good hire.
But don't you think that, yeah, he's a really good coach. But if you look at Matt Rule, I'm saying that after what we've heard Matt Rule speak on the last few days and his players and everything, it doesn't really seem like he's all that available. It doesn't really seem like he's super excited. Now, again, what else would he say?
Yeah, exactly right.
What else would he say? Okay, cool. Okay. Let's say that they were to hire him. The only question they'd have to answer is how the hows and whys of Matt Rule getting further than James got. That's what they would have to answer. Like, that's the obvious thing.
Yeah. Here's Matt Rule on Pat McAfee today.
It's with my team. It's just unbridled honesty. Tell them the truth. Tell them exactly the truth, and don't BS them, because they'll know. Having other schools maybe be interested in you is pretty cool. But I don't do that during the season. I don't mess around with that. I don't play that. And at the same time, this is not a jumping off job. This is a destination job. This is one of the greatest places in the world. This is a town of 300,000 people. This is everyone says like Lincoln. It's 300,000 people here in Lincoln. Like, I can do whatever I want here. I have a great young team, the youngest team in the Big Ten. Think about how good we'll be next year. Now, I'm not thinking about next year, but where we are right now, like, we're learning. Think about where we're going to go with Dylan and all these guys. So I refuse to be distracted. At the same time, it's when it's your alma mater, you have to show it love and respect. And I hope, and I love Pat Kraft, they'll find the right coach for them, whoever that is. But like, this is a destination job that should be a national bully, that should be a beast. And I think we're making our way to doing that.
Is that I'm not leaving?
Well, he didn't explicitly say I'm not leaving, but I mean, there's clearly an effort going into saying like, hey, there's 300,000 people in Lincoln, and Lincoln's amazing, and I can do everything here. Why would I leave?
I can do anything I want, and they're going to get their guy. And
yeah,
it is interesting. And I also think the messaging coming off of Epstein Island is very interesting. Terry Smith, they're still talking about why James Franklin got whacked.
Yeah, it's a reality. So we tell the truth in the building, and we all failed Coach Franklin, right? That's why he's not here. We failed him. And so we have to take ownership in that. And as we move forward, we have to correct it, right? We want to play for him. We want to play for us. But at the end of the day, it's the game of football that we love. So every guy in the locker room has their own why. That's why you line up and play every snap.
Okay. I mean, that is...
Dude, the guilt in the room must just be immense.
They fired... Look, I like Terry. He is a veteran guy. He's been around that program. He was the exact right guy to be the interim. They fired James Franklin because he failed that institution for a better part of a decade. That's why they fired him. How many times has he been the league candidate somewhere? I don't know, like USC? A lot. It's not like James Franklin. And again, this is where this conversation comes all the way around. It's not like James Franklin is irreplaceable, but how many guys can replace James Franklin and then take it to another level? It's a really good question, because when we're talking about Curt Cignetti making 11 point, I can't even say it. That's wild money. What are you going to have to pay somebody to replace James Franklin? On top of, and you better hope he gets a job, right? So that you don't have to pay him nearly as much, the offset language that's in his deal.
Yeah.
Which essentially is, hey, if he gets a job and he's making $10 million, we have to pay him $10 million less, right? Like but I'm telling you now, Penn State's not a $15 million job, $13 million, $11 million. Can you imagine Penn State paying somebody $11, $12 million and on top of James Franklin's buyout?
They clearly aren't hurting.
No, well, they're not, but this is where we get into, we have a spending problem.
Yep.
You put yourself in a place with a coach who doesn't win big games where you got to pay him $49 million, $20,000 a day. You're paying James Franklin $20,000 a day not to coach your football program. Who made that decision? You did. James Franklin, I think the ceiling was 2 years ago. They're not better than they were 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to tell people, and nobody wants to listen to old Monty. I tried to tell people, average ass Aller and this football team were not ever on any level going to compete for a national championship. With James Franklin, the head coach, and Drew Aller, the quarterback, yeah, it's not happening. Fernando Mendoza is why Indiana is competing at the top of the Big Ten right now. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And, you know, like you look at these redonkulous buyouts, Jimbo Fisher was never going to win there. Mike Elko's probably never going to win there. Yet you're paying these guys wild amounts of money. And I look at Kalen DeBoer, really good hire, very good money. Steve Sarkisian at Texas, really good hire, really good money. You're not seeing them. Texas doesn't give a rat's ass if Steve Sarkisian goes and takes the Penn State job. They're Texas. They can get any coach they want.
Yeah.
Right? You're Alabama. You can get any coach you want. Penn State clearly cannot get any coach they want. Indiana just paid Cignetti $93 million because they can't get a coach that they want. He's the top of the mountain, Mom. Curt Cignetti, who when we used to have, you know, Social Security and Medicare in this country, he'd be old enough to qualify for it now. See what I did there? Like I just threw it in.
Google me.
I threw the kerosene on top of the fire.
Attaboy.
It just is what it is.
So I said, yeah.
And this goes back to the Big 12. The best football team in the Big 12 has a former high school football coach and a bunch of bought talent. Are we done with the days of go get an 18-year-old kid from California to be your quarterback and you better develop him and teach him to be that? I think we are. The coach matters. Your NIL money matters more. Paying that, it hurts my head. And I'm sitting here texting with a couple of football guys, and it's a really good point. You just paid a guy $93 million who hasn't had enough time to recruit a freshman class and develop it into a known commodity. You don't even know if this guy can recruit high school players and develop them. Because he's only been there. The guy hasn't even finished setting up his office in Bloomington. And you owe him $90 million.
In 8 years of your life.
I think that is a really good point. From a really, phenomenal Hebrew. Saying pedo state is like saying Jake from State Farm. It's corny. And for the second time, some fools say it. No, they're a bunch of child molesting jerk-offs at Penn State. They're disgusting. They shouldn't have a football program. They covered up child sexual assault for more than 30 years and then gave a statue to the guy who did it. It's not a nickname. It's not a joke or something corny. It's crimes that happened and people are in federal prison for it. Penn State shouldn't have a football program. Penn State shouldn't have an athletic program, period. Joe Paterno should be nowhere in any record book because he's a scumbag who covered up child sexual assault for 30 years. And if that bothers you, don't come back. Because I'm not changing my stance on that. I am not going to change my stance on that. Penn State is the worst of the worst. Them or Michigan State. You do the math, because you can have either one, and I'm still taking Penn State. Because sex crimes against kids, yeah, I'm going to say you're pretty. I'm not sure how to get lower on the rung than that. The mud's pretty deep at that level. So, yeah, sorry. Oh, that upsets you? Yeah, that's who you are.
Yeah, don't care.
Yeah, that's your school. That's your school. That's who Penn State is. And it is remarkable to me that Penn State fan wants to come in here and talk about Jake from State Farm when your school allowed those crimes to happen for over 30 years and did nothing about it, knowing it was going on. Go read the testimony. Go read the grand jury. Go read the witness statements. They're all on the internet. You're the worst of the worst. You are the scum of the scumbags. Matt Weiss looks like an altar boy next to Sandusky and Paterno. So, yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, I know it's Donnie pointing at Joe Biden. That's you. Just keep doing you. Rex Kwan and Baylor allowed murder. Don't forget that too. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah, here's the problem. We're not talking about Baylor.
I'm not talking about Baylor. I'm not talking about LSU. I'm not talking about.
See, this is what we do.
State
We want convenience, dude. This is what we do. We want convenience, and we want to say, oh, well, you guys are hating on my school. Let's look over here at LSU, or let's look over here at Baylor, with all due respect, Rex Kwando. Let's look over here and look over there. And hey, by the way, did you see what's in the sky? I don't give it, like, it doesn't matter, dude. Like, you're sitting here defending child predators. Like, stop. Don't make it out like we're the bad guy. You're coming in here after we haven't seen you phenomenal for how long? And your first comment is, oh, well, you guys hate Penn State and keep it on the field. And what does that have to do? Like, sorry, dude. We are actually talking about football because this happened in your locker room, in your shower facility, on your buses, after games. So, sorry, dude. You're right. Let's keep talking football. You're right. You're right.
And,
sorry.
And it's remarkable to me. It is remarkable to me that you hired James Franklin, who's got a history of sexual assault at both of his significant stops in college football.
Yeah.
Like, go read about Micah Parsons at Penn State. Go read about the allegations at Vanderbilt. Gumby, hope Jake and Monty are having a good day. Also, dude.
I'm actually having a really good day. Dude, I'm actually having a really good day. And one of my favorite things to do is slap people in the comments section who want to come in here and say that somehow we hate Penn State or that this is anything other than us calling a spade a spade. Because,
it's crazy.
Because that's what this is, dude. You guys want a free pass. You guys, it's Michigan fan wanting to say, oh, well, he was a lone wolf. We didn't know. Yeah, vacuum salesman. Remember all the vacuums on his porch, Monty? Let's look at the LLC. Don't talk about the fact that we ran an illegal scheme and our championship never would have happened. Let's ignore that. Like, dude, stop. Like if you wanna live in fantasy land, get your ass off to another show, because you're not doing that here, bro. It's the facts of the case that you guys spent 3 decades and abusing people. Double down on it by erecting a statue of Buddy, then triple down on it by hiring James Franklin. And you want us to just ignore all that after you couldn't win a national championship and continue to foster an environment where you come up short? Yeah, sorry, dude. I can't. That's just too much. I can't do it. Sorry.
Nope. They shouldn't have a football program. I will never forget the day the Sandusky verdict came out. I was on the radio at Cairo Radio in Seattle. And the you know what the sad thing I'll remember about that? People being shocked and surprised that he got convicted. That's what's sad. Okay, next person that incites I'm turning Oak State on you in the rectory. Exactly. Exactly. Nape says, today is a good day. Sold some vacuums and gave away some cheeseburgers and tickets to Ohio State.
See, I mean, just great job. I mean, were they at least double cheeseburgers, or what are we working with, dude?
Yeah. There are a few things that, I mean, in all seriousness, we have a lot of fun on this show. There are a few things that will get me going more than, and it's why I don't read the Penn State idiot guy who comes in here and he's like, talk football.
You suck.
Yeah, you have a Penn State logo in your name. It's embarrassing. Like it's embarrassing. And what Penn State fan will always do is, well, Monty, you're a fan of Notre Dame. What about Catholic priests? That's not Notre Dame. It's not Notre Dame. Like, you can keep pointing fingers at other people, you know. All right. So if you're just tuning in, boy, what a rousing conversation. If it's not Matt Rule, and now Curt Cignetti got an 8-year, $90 million+ contract extension at Indiana. My question is, who do you think the next head coach at Penn State's going to be? And I don't know who that is. I truly, I think it is, in my opinion, it's going to be a name we haven't heard. I don't believe like Kalen DeBoer's name has been floating around. He's not leaving Alabama to go to Epstein Island.
No, he's got too much to prove.
I don't think Dabo's a candidate.
I don't think Kotelnicki's a big enough name to go after.
Well, I mean, he's, you know, it's who you have. I don't think you can keep it in-house. If you fired James Franklin, you're firing his staff.
Agreed.
I think you need to go out and get somebody.
What do you make of the Pat Fitzgerald angle? Now that he got out of that situation, you know, innocent. You know, there's documentation.
You can't do it. That you can't do it. I don't believe that you can do that. In my opinion, I don't think you can do it.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion.
See, again, who are we talking about? See, this is my point, right? Like, I agree with you, but who are we talking about? Because I can't put anything past these dudes. Like, they've got a track record of hiring, you know, of hiring that kind of guy. Or just dude with baggage.
I just don't, you can't do that. That'd be like Michigan hiring John Harbaugh. Right? Like, I mean, you can't do that. The answer is I don't know. I don't know. I think Penn State has to go big because, again, like even Pat Fitzgerald, average ass football coach.
Yeah.
It's Northwestern, totally get it. It's tough to win there. Okay, totally get that.
Right.
Are we really believing Manny Diaz now is your leading candidate? That doesn't seem right. Like, looking at, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys believe that the Matt Rule bite? And I'm happy to play it again. I am curious. Do you guys believe that Matt Rule is a candidate at Penn State? When you hear him today on Pat McAfee, does this sound like a guy who is going to interview at Penn State?
It's with my team. It's just unbridled honesty. Tell them the truth. Tell them exactly the truth, and don't BS them because they'll know. Having other schools maybe be interested in you is pretty cool. And But I don't do that during the season. I don't mess around with that. I don't play that. And at the same time, this is not a jumping off job. This is a destination job. This is one of the greatest places in the world. This is a town of 300,000 people. This isn't everyone says like Lincoln. It's 300,000 people here in Lincoln. Like, I can do whatever I want here. I have a great young team, the youngest team in the Big Ten. Think about how good we'll be next year. Now, I'm not thinking about next year, but where we are right now, like, we're learning. Think about where we're going to go with Dylan and all these guys. So I refuse to be distracted. At the same time, when it's your alma mater, you have to show it love and respect. And I hope, and I love Pat Kraft. They'll find the right coach for them, whoever that is. But like, this is a destination job that should be a national bully, that should be a beast. And I think we're making our way to doing that.
He's selling. You can't exaggerate.
No.
I mean, he's selling, dude.
I don't think he said yes, and I don't think he said no. I mean, what is he making? I think he's on a $74 million contract. I mean, you can afford him, right? But, I mean, I think if I were Penn State, let's say Matt Rule's out, Curt Cignetti's out. Marcus Freeman, again, in talking to my network around Notre Dame, I just can't see him leaving Notre Dame to go to Penn State. Can I see, what about a guy like a Kenny Dillingham, who has been rumored to be a candidate there? Is Kenny Dillingham leaving Arizona State to go to Penn State? Do you buy that?
Man, I have trouble seeing Kenny leaving ASU just because of his roots there and the energy. But I have to say, at the same time, that's a bigger job as far as resume, career arc, So, like, yeah, I mean, I think if you're Kenny, you have to consider it, and I think that
only 35 years old.
Yeah, so I think that if you're Kenny Dillingham, the things to think about are like, hey, we've been dealing with injuries this year. We lose Scat to the NFL, and we're really not the same team. We weren't able to overcome that, even though people really thought we would be able to. I thought they'd be able to. I thought, they were, deep enough, but clearly not. So, I think that if you're Kenny, yeah, you have to consider it. But the hard part is that also, obviously, geographically speaking, it's a massive move for you and the fam. I mean, that's a
Dude,
change your kid's life kind of
move. You're going
move.
to the moon.
Yeah, like that's just a totally different thing.
I mean, if I think about it, again, I've told you guys repeatedly, my formula is hire an awesome offensive mind. I mean, I would call Will Stein at Oregon. I would call Garrett Riley at Clemson.
But are those two guys there? Like, would you consider those risky hires, or you would consider that a good hire?
I would. I mean, you got to call them. I mean, I still maintain the guy that is, I think the home run hire would be Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri. I think he would be an absolute upper deck tank shot. Like, I mean, he's 42 years old. He is, I mean, the guy, they win at Missouri, and that's in the SEC. Like, he recruits quarterbacks, like wide receivers, skill position guys. Like, I think he'd be a home run. He is, I mean, the guy is not the most attractive dude in the world, but he is kind of a nerd. But I would call him. I would call Matt Campbell at Iowa State. Is that a home run hire, Matt Campbell at I don't know. He never has the best talent, right? And if you're calling Matt Campbell, aren't you calling Jeff Brom at Louisville? Right? I mean, that's the last time that Perdon't was even at all relevant, wasn't that 2022 when he took him to the top of the Big Ten? That's only 3 seasons removed. And look where they are now. Like, I mean, it is crazy. And I just think he beats big teams. I'd have to look it up, but he's 500 against top 10 opponents.
Yeah.
Which is that's good. I know that sounds bad, but that's good. I don't know how big this job is.
Yeah, it's all about how people view it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not a you can't really, like you can try, it's like the speaking of Urban, it's like the Pervin bite from yesterday about like, hey, the Penn State job is 5 or 6 or whatever in the Big Ten or 4 or 5, but like I think it depends who you ask. I mean, honestly, like, and I also think the hard part is that you're probably asking someone to either leave the West Coast or leave the SEC to take this job. That's the hard part is that again, we got Matt Rule talking about how Lincoln's got 300,000 people. Well, what are we saying about Happy Ending Valley? I mean, like it's that same kind of deal where it's like, hey, you're going to Eugene, you're going to Happy Ending Valley, you're going to a small place. What are the benefits? What are the things that make it feel a little better? So that's what's hard. Like in Kenny's case, dude, Kenny lives in one of the more expensive markets in the country, but also, one of the up and coming, younger, hipper places to live.
It's a party school.
Yeah. So like, if Kenny enjoys the Scottsdale lifestyle, I mean, it's gonna be hard to pull him from that, bro. Like,
how'd that work out for Cliff Kingsbury?
Right? Like dude's at a pad during the draft, that infamous picture from his house, right? I mean, it's just, it's a hard, it's with dudes who can have, mansions and have that kind of money, dude. Like Scottsdale's hard to beat. It does get hot, but man, it's cheaper than California.
Do you remember the girlfriend that Cliffy had when he was a coach of the Cardinals?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Yep. Smoke show.
I mean, you guys can't even get in the conversation. She won't even look at you in the produce section. That girl was, I don't know if they're still together.
Just a tip.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still together, but god damn.
Bro.
It really is incredible to me that you have all these candidates, and I still maintain I don't know that Kenny Dillingham's leaving Arizona State for Penn State, but I mean, none of us believe that's a big step up, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it is,
and he's done a really good job there. He's done a really good
step up from. I mean, just from a coaching standpoint, it's obviously a step up. It's obviously a step up conference wise. I mean, I think it's hard to get away from that. Like, the Big Ten is financially in a better spot. I think you have more influence there. I also think that, it's just a different level of job, dude. It's a different level of job. You go from being a cool story on the West Coast, local guy that took a local job and is doing a great job, to competing for national championships immediately, or at least having the expectations. And so then it's like, all right, well, Penn State took a flyer a little bit on Kenny because he's a younger guy who doesn't have 20 years in the game. And so I think that would be categorized.
When did they take the flyer?
Yeah.
When they took a flyer on the Dillmaster when they were in the absolute basement.
Yeah.
After the firm. Yeah, I think bro, they took a flyer on Kenny after the Antonio Pierce, Herm Edwards disasters.
I knew today would be shitty.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it worked out. I don't know. I'm just curious how good of a job and how well regarded the Penn State job is, but I don't see a place where Marcus Freeman's not leaving Notre Dame to go to Penn State. You can't.
It feels like a lateral move. Doesn't feel like, why would you do that?
But I think it's a step down. Going from Notre Dame to Penn State you're backsliding. Your resources are going to shrink. Your recruiting talent, your recruiting pool is going to shrink, right? Like I think it's wild. And are you hiring a guy who's never been able to recruit and develop a quarterback? Probably not. So I still maintain.
You're saying that about Kenny?
No, about Marcus Freeman.
Oh, about Marcus Freeman. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You and obviously CJ Carr's on the trajectory to be that. But I just think when I look at where that program is and what depending on the coach, you need to take your shot with everybody. I'd call Sark, I'd call Kirby, I would call them all. But I would consistently be in contact, taking the temperature of Brian Hartline at Ohio State. And I know that's not popular for my friends in Columbus. And
But why is it a good move? Because it checks a lot of boxes.
He can recruit.
I mean, look at how people sold the Knowles move, right? How did people sell the Knowles move? Oh, well, dude, like he's been a defensive coordinator at Ohio State, and he knows the Big Ten culture, and it's not a faraway move for him, and the money's pretty similar, and I mean, it all makes sense. So, like all those same things that everyone said about Jim Knowles, I mean, I think it would be ratcheted up with Hartline because obviously he'd be the head coach, not the DC, but my God, would that not stoke the fire of rivalry between those two? Jesus.
And look at the development that Hartline's seen under Ryan Day. I mean, their offense under Hartline, has their offense taken a step back?
No.
Is Julian Sayin struggling? Well, you got Ryan Day. Okay, are the wide receivers taking a back step? No. Like they're a well-oiled machine. He's ready for a job. And again, it's what I say about Marcus Freeman. I think Marcus Freeman was not ready to be the head coach at Notre Dame, and we've seen that so many times over with mistakes he's made.
Yeah.
Brian Hartline, the minute he gets a head coaching job, is going to be a better head coach than Marcus Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's simply because he was grown and developed under Ryan Day. And I think when you look at the job that Matt Patricia's done, winning is infectious. When you go into a culture and the culture is we win, like this Dan Lanning bite today. It is crazy to me that people are upset with Dan Lanning about this. And I'm just telling you, this is exactly how I want my football coach to be after a terrible loss.
Fusion up front, Dan.
You guys know we're playing Rutgers, right? We did Monday press conference already, but go ahead.
But it's something that will come up again. So they're asking for Rutgers.
You watched Rutgers?
Not as heavy a simulated pressure deep. I'm saying in future games, starting this week and the rest of the season, where do you feel the corrections are this week to what happened last week?
We corrected them. Yeah, we corrected them on Monday. Any other Indiana questions? They played really good, guys. They played really good. They had a better plan than us, and we played that game last Saturday.
I love it. And I'm not the guy on this show that throats Dan Lanning constantly.
We are today.
That'd be that guy over there. I love this out of Dan Lanning. I don't want to talk about Indiana anymore. Fuck Indiana. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to. That game, we flushed it. We turned around, looked at it, learned from it, flushed it. That's it. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, here's the problem. They're not asking them about Indiana. They're asking them about moving forward, what adjustments are going to be made against Rutgers. And you don't want to talk about it because you're pissed off you lost the Indiana game.
Right.
And so we're not asking you. My issue is, and again, as you just said, I'm a throat stretcher for Dan Lanning. I'm fine with that. I'm happy to be that. But the reality is Dan doesn't like to lose, and I'm good with that. I want that in my head coach. But when you do lose, you need to be able to sit up there and say what he should have said was, hey, yeah, they pushed us around and we made adjustments on that, right? We played that game a week ago, and we feel like, we spent the better part of our practice time this week making adjustments on that and fixing that so that we can go out against Rutgers and dominate them. Like, that's what he should have said. He shouldn't have been pissy with the reporter because that's how it comes off. And I know that Dan probably didn't intend for it to come off that way. Dan's kind of a fiery guy, as we all know. But I just didn't love it from the standpoint of, like, you're getting up the reporter's ass about it when it's really like, hey, dude, like, he's asking you about how you're going to fix it against Rutgers, and you're trying to make it out like he keeps trying to go back to Indiana, when the reality is Rutgers has some size. Now, you're going to beat the hell out of Rutgers. We all know that.
Yeah, but he is. Anyway. The reporter is he wants to talk about Indiana. I've asked a question like that, and I think it is. That's what. Anyway, I love that out of Dan Lanning, and you know what? Dan's doing a great job at Oregon. The projections for the 2026 recruiting class came out on Tuesday, and I forgot to get to this. Dan Lanning's all the way up to 6th. Did you guys see that Michigan is out of the top 10? Out of the top 10. Oh, it's fine, Monty. Sharon Moore is going to get whacked.
Sharon Moore is the second coming of Jim. He grew up under him.
Dude, Sharon's going to get whacked. I'll just keep telling you. I think they're in the national composite. They're 13th. They were at one point number 1. Then they were number 3. And they've just been steadily ticking down and getting past. And now they're all the way down. You're 13th in the national composite. Like it's tough. It's tough sledding at Michigan. And if you're a Penn State fan, you better hope they don't fire Sharon Moore after the season. Because I still think there's a huge discussion which one of those two is a better job. That's a huge discussion.
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't know the answer to that. But I still think, like, listen to Pervin Liar on the triple option talking about this.
Where, in people's opinion, is Penn State in the hierarchy of jobs? I have a very strong opinion, but I'm going to maybe throw this to Mark real quick.
Right now, in the
where
top,
should it
just
know?
put
Where
it in
should
the Big
be?
Ten. Put it in terms of the Big Ten. Where
in the Big Ten, I say
it's
in national or Big Ten.
Let's go Big Ten first.
Big Ten, I think, is like the 4th or 5th best job.
I agree. Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon.
Should it be higher?
USC-ish.
Yeah. No,
should it be a solid 3rd or a 2nd?
No,
it should be on past history, Coach.
You have Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, SC. That's 4 right there.
Yeah. The question is it a better job than the Wolverines? Look at the records over the last 25 years. You know, there might be an argument. I don't know that. That's something I think every fan's got to ask themselves.
I think they have the resources. I think they have everything you want. I think the location is a challenge for people.
I agree. Yep.
So,
and then USC, is USC bumped? You know, in my mind, USC is a top 3 job in America. So
yes.
I would say yes. Now, they've
that's
been
why
on
I said
a couple decade drought out there. So
that's why I said Penn State is 4th or 5th. It just depends on, you know, in the Big Ten at least.
So nationally, that would probably put them just inside the top 10, maybe, right, Mark?
Yeah. Yes, but available jobs, it is top.
Bro.
People are sleeping on USC, I'm telling you, bro.
And I just, again, will keep telling you, Michigan's not a great job. Michigan is not. I tend to agree with Pervin Liar. I think USC is a fantastic. It is.
It has intangibles you can't replace.
And you're starting to see, like, again, speaking of recruiting composites, anybody know the number 1 recruiting class for 2026? You do. You're going to say it right now. USC. And would you be surprised? It's not close. A distant second, Georgia.
Where's the?
Aggies are 3rd. Texas is 4th. Notre Dame is 5th. Oregon is 6th. Tennessee is 7th. Alabama is 8th. Ohio State is 9th. Florida is 10th. LSU is 12th. And Michigan is 13th. Tied for 13th with Florida State. So
I do tend to agree, though, that Lincoln Riley's seat is still hot. You got to make the CFP, bro.
I think he's got to be on the bubble or in to keep his job. And I think that every week at SC Boys is a huge. Is it must win every week? It's probably not must win. This week is this week must win at the stadium? Yeah, it is.
You're 5-1 and you're 20th in the AP. Like, bro, that's tough, dude.
But because the Michigan win isn't valuable. That's the reality is that Michigan's not a great win. Michigan, this is the problem in the Big Ten.
Yeah, but he's getting help in the Big Ten, though, right? Like, in terms of wins, like, because he's still got obviously Notre Dame this week, right? Of course.
Yep.
But,
you've got to win this game.
Yeah,
I think this is a huge game for Lincoln.
Yeah, you got to, and with it being on the road too, that'd be a signature win for him. But you got to beat Notre Dame. But then, dude, if Matt Rule, who does Nebraska have this week? Because if Matt Rule can be still ranked, who do they have? They have Matt Rule's got to beat Minnesota so that Lincoln can beat him. And
no, understand that Matt Rule's got the national spotlight. It's tomorrow night. It's Friday night.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're the Friday night game at Minnesota. Yeah, they're Friday night. They're tomorrow night.
I mean, listen, if gosh, dude, this is a ballsy stretch for your boy. Notre Dame, Nebraska, for Lincoln. Dude, Notre Dame.
Oh, it's huge.
Nebraska.
It's his defining moment at SC.
And then you still have a get-back game with Oregon. But see, again, the Oregon one I don't love because it's on the road.
Hey, don't overlook that. Don't look the Hawks coming to LA. That Iowa game's not going to be a pleasure cruise. If that was in Iowa City, I would be very, very concerned. And obviously,
yeah,
you lost. That Illinois loss is kicking you in the nuts, dude. And anyway, my point is, so when we talk about how good is the Penn State job, I think it is. It's got a lot more juice than some people believe it does.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know that they can hire a Titan. You know, I don't know that they can. They're not going to be able to do what SC did with Lincoln and shock the world.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to go get Kirby. They're not going to be able to go get.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys. I would like to welcome Shohei Ohtani and his bat to the NLCS.
That's on, isn't it?
He just got a leadoff triple. And who knew that when you're struggling, he is for those of you who don't know, Ipe's best friend is in a horrendous
look at how he hit that one too.
But that's why this is important. He's in a horrendous slump. And I'm not an expert or what. I get it. He is flying open with his front hip like ain't nobody's business. And Jake, I think we even talked about this the other day. We may have texted about it. His batting mechanics are fucking broken.
Yeah.
He just did the exact same thing, but he flew the bat head to the ball and tripled down the right field line on a ball that he could have thrown harder than he had exit velo. And now he just scored. It's 1-0. It's 1-0.
They're going to sweep the Brewers, dude. I would be shocked if the Brewers even won a game.
Because I'm telling you guys right now, that bullshit that the Brewers pulled with the L flag on the field after they eliminated the Cubs.
Yeah.
There's some karma coming for you on that. I am a big believer that when you win like the Cubs winning a wild card series and celebrating with champagne. Did you win?
Terrible.
Come on, man.
I'll go one step further. And maybe I saw people talking about this today. It hadn't really crossed my mind. But the Mariners last night, right, against that debacle, even before the game gets going, and you get off to a great start, obviously. But even before the game gets going, people are talking about today, they're talking about that. So Randy Johnson throws out the first pitch, right? And he didn't go on the mound to throw the pitch. And people are saying that was a bad omen for the game, that he stood in front of the bump instead of on the bump to throw the first pitch, which I just think is incredible. I mean, it didn't really dawn on me as I was watching. I was like, wait, people are really saying that this was some kind of like I don't know what that was. Like that was
hell happened.
Yeah,
right
that was
there.
weird, dude. But people are saying that was like some bad omen for the game, that he did that.
Omen schmomen. I think it is. I think it is very interesting that you have, bro.
What's going on? What happened?
There is just some weird. I've talked about the Monty ghost in the past, And my wife is out of town now. She's in Europe for 10
so
days.
It's you and the dog.
It's me and little buddy.
Yeah.
And I am telling you that there are some times when I'm home by myself, and it used to be when we were in our studio in the Maverick Center, that you would just see things or feel things. The door would open on its own.
Yeah, we watched the door handle move.
Yeah. I have and I can't show you, unfortunately, but I have studio lights that are on poles in this studio. And I have a big light right here on my left-hand side. The camera went blurry and then the light turned. This light just did like a 55, 60-degree turn. I kid you not. And what happened with the blur in the camera?
Yeah, it went dark.
It looked like something walked in front of the camera. It went dark, and then it brightened back up and lost focus. Like something stole its light. And now this big studio light over here to my left.
Can you take a picture of it? Do you want to?
Take a picture of what?
The light.
Well, I'm happy to. I don't know if I can pan my camera. My camera is in my studio. Yeah, see the shoe blocks it. There's that light right there. You can see that big bright spot. Like this is my studio right here, right? And it's just very strange to me that my wife goes out of town. It happened to me today when I was at my computer. I was working on some SEO stuff for my Amazon listings.
Yeah.
And it was, I heard something like behind me, and I turned around, and the Monty Show sign was kind of, because you guys probably don't even care about this, but all this sign is right here. It's a wafer thin cardboard.
Yeah.
A command strip to a platform, which is just a rectangle box. And so the command strip is in the middle of the sign. It's like right behind the C. You see the H and the N. The command strip is like right here behind the sign.
Yeah.
So it moves a little bit, and I'm just sitting here and I can hear it going do 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 do. And I turn around and the sign is like almost like somebody's. And then whatever that was, and then the studio light.
Like yeah, I mean, I have to say, I've never seen our cameras do that. We have a very high-end camera that we use for this setup.
Yes.
And I have never seen, mine will occasionally focus in and out just a little bit, but I've never seen the camera, like, there's a difference between it just going, like, this black right here is not what just happened. Like, this kind of black is not what just happened. It was very shadowy, kind of, like, I'm going to go back and look at that. I want to see that. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, my dog is like standing up now.
Really?
My dog is right here. I again. Yeah, it's weird. He's like standing up looking out.
Are the vibes weird?
Yeah, but I'm alone in a big ass condo. Like it is. Like, do you guys, is that? Yeah, there's weird music playing. That's right. Yeah, the whole thing. There's just some weird stuff. It could just be that I'm weirded out because I'm in a new place, quiet, all by myself. Like,
right.
And usually Mrs. Monty's not here at this time, but this room is, I'm in a, I guess this is 800 square feet worth of a condo. I'm on one side of the condo in a room that's made to be an office. Like, it's fully wired. The reason we picked this condo, you guys give a rat's ass about this, but we picked this condo because this room is fully wired for electronics and cable. So I have like a cable tunnel running through the wall. I have like in this room, I think there's 6 outlets just in this room alone, 2 on this wall, 3 on this wall behind me. Like, that's why but it's kind of isolated, and I just look straight out into downtown from here. It's just kind of interesting, the whole layout, you know. Are eggs spontaneously cooking or noise coming from your fridge? No. If you hear 3 knocks at any time, leave immediately. I'll do that. I will. New to the show, loving the takes. You guys are going to have a massive channel. Well, I appreciate that, SWAT. Monty disappeared from the studio, and when they came in, Hotel California was playing, right? You can check out, but you can never leave. Monty is being haunted by the ghosts of college football. I don't know. I'm
trying to find it. I'm looking at our stream right now.
Yeah. I wonder what that looks like. Did you guys see that?
Oh yeah, screen? Dude. Oh yeah, it was very much on the screen.
Well, you saw it obviously because you're looking at StreamYards. I'm wondering, did that get broadcast out to the stream? You know,
did Monty's feed go dark for you guys?
And blurry. Smoking guy tracked down Monty to his new crib. Yeah, probably. Probably. Dogs can also pick up on your vibe. Well, thankfully he laid back down now. Let's see the dog, Monty. I don't know if you can see him. Right? Like he's right there. He is. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can see that. See this light right here, you guys? See how this is on a post?
Yeah.
That's what the other light looks like. Right? And it's just interesting to me that he was fully standing up. Right? Like, and now he's back to sleep, thankfully. But it's just interesting to me that we wind up I'm a big believer in ghosts. There's no way for this light to turn like that. I'm just going to tell you, because it's on 4 legs. Because I haven't hung them from
the camera shook when it went dark.
Did it really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you got to play that video.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to try to screen record this for you guys. I'm doing this on my phone. Like, I'm watching our show on my phone because I wanted to see the public feed. And
so it's really visible.
Oh yeah. Yes, it is. Hang on, I'm trying to get it.
Yeah, people are texting me saying, "Oh yeah, dude, that was it was a Jello-like blurriness." My friend Marcus says it was a Jello-like blurriness. It wasn't even, I don't know if I noticed it go dark, but it was like the camera was underwater for 3 or 4 seconds. Okay. Yes, absolutely. It went dark and got blurry like somebody walked in front of it. You're fucked. Thank you.
Man, that's really reassuring there, bro. Nice, dude. That is really helpful, dude.
I have great friends. Sports shows turn into paranormal podcasts. There you go. It was blurry. The Monty Show, brought to you by Monty, Jake, and the Shadow People. That's right. That's absolutely right. Yes, the screen went foggy like a mirror in a bathroom when you take a shower. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay, well, we'll see. I'm interested to see what that looks like.
I'll tell you when I got it in there. I'm trying to. You can only scrub it like 30 seconds at a time.
When did this happen? Like 5 minutes ago?
5 minutes ago, yeah.
And that light's spinning around, and I appreciate that the light is pointed right back at me. Thank you. It's actually a little that way, but it's just interesting. It's just interesting the way that happens. Anyway, all right. Let's depoltergeist this thing and get back on track. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Should the Big Ten take private money? Let's talk about it in 30 seconds on the Monty Show.
Injured in an accident? You may be entitled to a bigger settlement, up to 3.5 times bigger. Your initial consultation is 100% free, and we don't get paid unless we win your case. No matter the accident, we are here to help. The Advocates will fight for you because you deserve clarity, you deserve justice, you deserve guidance, you deserve an advocate. Contact us today.
You do deserve an advocate at theadvocates.com 24/7, 365. The advocates are ready to serve you. Not only are they ready to serve you, they serve you how you need them, when you need them, and where you need them. If you're in a hospital room, they'll come to you. If you want to do it on a video call, a FaceTime, they're ready to serve you. You don't talk to chatbots or AI at theadvocates.com. You get a real live attorney. Go check it out. Advocates.com, 24/7, 365. You get hurt at work, you get in a car accident, you got hit walking to work, maybe you fell off your bike because you got run over by a car. Hey, they understand it. And the best part about the advocates is they give you clear, risk-free advice. And one of the things that I think is a big stigma in law is, oh, they're just looking for fees. Trust me, the advocates are not going to take your case unless they believe they can win it, because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. A big story today. Obviously, the big headline is Curt Cignetti signs a massive extension with Indiana, essentially taking him out of the running for the Penn State job if he was ever in the first place. It is an 8-year extension for $93 million. Curt Cignetti, now the third highest paid coach on average at $11.6 million a year. He went from 8.3 to 11.6. Good bread if you can get it, right? And one of the interesting parts about this deal being announced was that while this deal was being negotiated, and it is said it took 5 hours to get this deal done, but while this deal was being negotiated and announced, the Michigan Board of Trustees was in a meeting and was publicly commenting about the push for private money to come into the Big Ten in a $1 billion deal. And reports say that Michigan and USC are standing in the way of allowing that deal to happen. Michigan leadership today said very clearly, we don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem in this league. And as justification to not get on board and vote in favor of a massive private money influx, they noted that spending is out of control in the Big Ten. They noted that doing this deal does not fix the spending problem. Mark Bernstein, who is a regent at Michigan, quote, who would have thought the Big Ten Conference would need a bailout of this? It is no different than a payday loan. There are alternatives, viable alternatives that should be considered. I mean, it is a shocking statement. Bernstein also said, the University of Michigan board opposes this private equity deal and urges others to do the same. This is craziness. And when you start reading these comments and you start hearing what Jordan Acker, another regent, said, quote, we can do this more efficiently than selling our assets. We understand the responsibility to lift all boats and to help schools that need money to get that money. It just has to be on the best financial terms possible. The Big Ten does not need to be sold to save college sports. It needs to lead to save college sports. This is ugliness. And I will continue to tell you that when you look at this deal with Cignetti and you start to hear these reports coming out of Michigan, it's what I have been telling you forever. Before I'm going to pay you a penny, you're going to show me that you want to win every college football rep that you take. Not every game, every snap. In the game, in practice, in the weight room, at the nutrition table. You're going to win at all phases of college football. We're going to have the best equipment from iPads to weight plates. We're going to have the right infrastructure with coaches, analysts, tutors, financial advisors, mental health staff. We're going to have all that. And we're going to show people that every university in the Big Ten is doing everything it can to win every single rep that it takes. And until that time, we're not selling our souls so that we can pay for other people's crappy football programs. That's what's being said here. And it's not just Ann Arbor. It's also Los Angeles, because USC is against us as well. Is this the right sentiment, Jake? Do you think the Big Ten should be taking private money?
No, I mean, I do think it's the right sentiment for Michigan and others in the conference to be saying, hey, we don't want to pay for your crappy football team. Like, that's a proper sentiment, I think, because the issue here is that this is an equity deal. So equity, oftentimes is a product of on-field success. And in this case, the on a football field, results matter, right? If you're winning, the amount of value you have begins to expand. So an equity deal would be bigger, obviously, if you're winning more and you're more successful. But the issue here is we have unequal equity and unequal success in these football conferences. And it to me is the Big Ten's both best thing and worst thing. The Big Ten and the usual suspects, and now we've added to the pile of usual suspects, are benefiting from having crappy football teams in their conference. This is the first year where it will hurt them, in my opinion. But for a decade, you've benefited from that. And now, because the parameters of, hey, who are we putting in the CFP have changed, well, now that's hurting you. So it's now hurting you in scheduling and in the CFP, and it's hurting you financially. So the idea that Michigan and USC are saying no because they don't want to foot the bill for a crappy football team like Rutgers, I think it's perfectly fair and proper. I think that's reasonable. I don't think that's being an asshole or being too far with it or being what do they say, being obtuse. I don't. I think that's fair, because that's what we've seen in other conferences too. I mean, again, unequal revenue sharing based on your success is a concept we've been speaking on for probably 2 years now. So no, I don't think that they should take a private equity deal. I don't think that as an example, if you were to do a private equity deal, teams like, Michigan or a better example would be Ohio State should get most of that revenue. Like, teams that are not winning and not putting money in should not be able to take money out. That is an age-old business concept, dude. Like, that's as old as time. So, I mean, I just think it's like, if people are shocked by this, you shouldn't be. Like, this makes sense to me.
Yeah. Update in Los Angeles. Jake Bowers is having a career in the NLCS. The journeyman first baseman just drove in the tying run and has now stolen second base. The guy is having the postseason of his life. Jake, have you ever heard of Jake Bowers?
Yep. Played high school baseball together, guys.
Yes, he did. And he is having
what an awful throw. Jesus.
Yeah, it was not a good throw. Glass now looks rattled for the Dodgers. So 1-1 leading run for the Brewers on second base now in the top of the second with one out. Ortiz at the plate against Glass now at Dodger Stadium. We'll keep you up to date on that. By the way, the Dodgers lead that series 2-0. Let's get your thoughts in here on private money. Looks like me and Monty agree. Let's not get carried away. Why would you risk losing control of your baby, the Big Ten Network? You're not risking that. It is. I think there is a misconception about what.
So we have the clip.
Look at this, you guys. Like, this is some craziness. I have these miracle wipes for computer screens, just sitting on my desk, falling on the floor. Like, I'm telling you, the weirdness is happening. The weirdness is happening.
We have the clip if you'd like to review it. I think it's kind of fascinating. Yeah, the whole camera shakes and the screen goes black.
Look at that again.
It just did it again. It just did it again, right? That was literally just right now. It just happened again. Dude.
I don't know.
Play the clip really quick. That was literally the same thing that happened in the clip. Watch Monty's screen here. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at
that is really weird.
That is exactly
really
what
weird.
just happened, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. The Dodgers throw Jake Bauers out at the plate. Oh, that's a huge play.
He's out by a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Bro, that is like I'm not even there and I'm tripping. That's crazy.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird. I am very happy in my life. I am not jumping off a balcony or doing anything other self-harm like. So if I'm dead tomorrow,
is Django is the dog up and alert again?
Yes.
Yes, he is. See? I'm telling you. Dude.
Hey man, the good times roll is what it is. Anyway, all right, let's get some see? It happens once the light turns. The thing falls off the desk, it happens again. Like came in. What? Bro. And now this okay, so I have this is okay, it's too much. Just got to let it go. It's your imagination.
No, I think people want to hear about it, dude.
I have a big wall of shoe cases in front of me, and the door just opened on this one. It just is what it is. It's all good. Monty Ghost is real. I guess so. Monty Ghost following from the Maverick Center. I guess so. The focus goes bad because the light dims and the autofocus can't lock on. I guess, yeah. I don't know. You need some holy water. That's what happens when you talk about the Pope. You might be right.
The camera situation here, I just hope everyone understands. Like this is not on a phone. This is a full production camera that we use. Each of us have the same camera, and the camera just going like dark, like shadowy.
In 5 years, they've never done that.
Like just going shadowy like that, and the fact that it went shadowy a second time right after I referenced that the clip is available is I mean, again, no proof, right? But that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, there you have it. Is what it is. I don't even know what you.
Dude, you guys are ruthless in the comment section, bro. The ghost is an unk. Get the hell out of here with that, bro.
The ghost isn't. The ghost of Mike Gundy haunting the show.
Yeah, ghost of Mike Gundy.
Can you pan the camera to show the camera? Nope, can't do that.
I'm a man.
Can't do that, right? Oak State James, stop praying for Monty. You're conjuring demons. Seriously.
Yeah, dude, seriously. We don't need any of that pastor energy in the chat
Ghost
today.
Unk. That's right. Ghost Unk. Yeah, I don't know.
That's incredible, dude.
Say shadow 3 times. He appears. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that.
The ghost wants to talk, clearly. Clearly, the ghost wants to talk.
Man, that's bizarre, bro. Like, I'm not trying to make too much of it, but that is crazy work, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Yeah. Mrs. Monty keeping an eye on you while she's astral projects miles away. There you go. Yeah, I'm so jealous. She's going to Switzerland, and good for you. Her and her mom spending time together, and there's that weird music again.
What kind of music is it?
It's like an organ. It's like somebody practicing an organ.
Did you have an organ in your childhood?
No, it's weird. It's weird. Yeah. Put some baking powder on the floor to see if you get footsteps.
Gumby, I'm going to need a more or less on the chances we see another appearance here before the show is over.
No, I'm not. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I don't necessarily believe or not believe, but it is what it is. And again, we're fine. The dog laid back down.
Dog alert is done.
It could, yeah, exactly. It could just be vibrations from a band or something, but wouldn't I hear the band playing?
Bro, Dude,
It's not.
it's not vibrations from a band, dude. The camera went like.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I hear it in my headphones. I take my headphones off. I don't hear it. It's weird. Yeah, it's not vibration that causes the camera to go dark and lose focus.
The camera doesn't do that where the exposure gets changed, because that's what's changing for the camera. The exposure amount changes to where it can't focus on what's in front of it. That's not just some accident, dude. That's wild.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I'm not dying. Everything's fine. You know, it is. You know, it's good. I'm only slightly worried. What? No prime? Do you believe? I don't know. See, Jake and I jokingly asked Jake in the pre-show, would I make a good Mormon?
What makes a good Mormon? Or
don't
a good religious folk?
I don't know. The problem is it's not Christ, it's the Christians that concern me, right? So it is one of those things that I think, I don't know if I would make a good Mormon, right? Like it is, I was reading an article, I think it was on Wired, about the new Latter-day Saints and what they believe, and, you know, the sealing rooms at the temples, and, you know, like you go through some of this stuff in the article. I think it's 2 years old or whatever. It is what it is, but it is very interesting. You know, the concept of, you know, would I make a good Mormon? I don't know if I would make a good, like, I'm not giving up caffeine. I am not giving up, you know, the physicalities, the chaste lifestyle.
Such as in like?
I speak very colorfully. So, like, the answer is, I don't know. I was a terrible Catholic. I can tell you that. Growing up, the nuns broke rulers over my back. Like, it is amazing to me. What did you say, Eric? Mormons and Christians are the same. Yeah, because Mormons are Christian. The Church of Jesus Christ. Are there still people who believe that Mormons are not Christians? What is wrong with you? Yes, they are. You know, James, Mormonism is a bunch of legalism wrapped up in religious mumbo jumbo. What is the Bible?
What is Methodism?
Right? Like, what do you mean? Like, every religion is legalism. What do you mean?
Yeah, what are you talking about, dude? I find that comment very interesting. What do you mean?
The problem is, and this is what I always tell people, like the concept that there are, I think it's called the plan for salvation, right? The celestial kingdom. I ain't never getting to the telestial kingdom realm. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'll see you in Valhalla.
The layers of heaven. Dude, God would laugh at me if I showed up at the gate. He'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here! Like, you're not coming in here.
Take your ass back down the stairs, dude."
Right? Like, I would be a terrible Mormon. I'm gonna check out the nun. She's got a great rack, dude.
We don't take any shit.
If you're in heaven, are you allowed to be like, dude? Wonder what's under that robe, right? Like, I mean, what do you like? I don't know the answer to that question. Like, what is life like if you're in heaven, right? If I go to Valhalla tonight with Uncle Monty Ghost, like,
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
I'm just curious. Do I get to window shop? Right? Like, I just want to know. You know, I mean, Christians have no leg to stand on to criticize Mormonism. Mormonism is simply an extension of Christian theology.
Yeah, but look at James's comment, 2 above Greg's right here. Look at this.
The difference between Mormonism and Christianity is a Christian, I recognize that I am not worthy and I need his grace. Well, what is a bro?
Bro, what are you on crack today, dude?
Blocking the mountain view at Utah.
Like,
do you
what?
understand the guilt that a lot of Mormons live with because they're not perfect?
What do you think the perfectionism in the religion is about, bro? Like, what?
The people that I know in the LDS community that are practicing the Mormon faith and the LDS lifestyle live with tremendous guilt because they can't stay inside the confines. This is you, bro. You should go back. TCU needs to give you a refund. Heaven is anything you want. Cool. Wings with ranch dressing, please.
Yeah. Can I get like 18 sides of ranch, please?
You know, I cannot wait. I'm going to a place called the Butcher's Table this weekend for dinner. Dude, so good. I am quite excited to see if I get into heaven. I don't know that heaven's real, but my point is, I think I would be I would not make it as a Mormon. I
can't spend 6 hours a Sunday in church. Sorry, dude. I got things to do.
That's the other thing.
I got things to do, bro.
I think the Bible is fictitious. I don't think it's real. It's funny. I was listening to a Bible scholar, a biblical scholar, literally a biblical scholar. Did you guys know that Jesus Christ wasn't that they were like, oh, hey, Jesus, what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
What's up, dude?
Are you guys almost done making me that table? Because I know your dad's a Jewish carpenter. You guys making that? Thanksgiving's coming. I need a dinner table. Get on it. All right, Jesus. Like nobody called him Jesus, right? Like that's made up. His disciples were not actually named Peter, Paul, and Mary, right? The Bible is a work of fiction. I think the thing about heaven is it's what you believe it is, right? Like I don't believe that you need to go give somebody $20 a week and then kneel down in a building and that puts you closer to God. Anything that I'll give you money, this gets me into heaven. Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's very hypocritical when religious folk say things like, "Hey, I have to, I gotta earn my way into heaven." I mean, isn't the whole concept of our favorite book, to do upon others as you want done upon thee, right? Isn't the whole concept like, hey, like do the right thing in any given situation? Isn't that what we're striving for technically? Like it's not about like paying your way in or like bribing your way in, dude. And I don't care if your heaven is on planet Jupiter and some other foreign solar system, or if it's the traditional image of heaven and the gates and the clouds and the angels, dude.
I have problems. If we believe Jesus is what he was described to be,
a white guy with long brown hair,
and we show up at his house to live eternally ever after, it's like, yeah, I really like that you say hello to everybody. But Monty, I got to be honest with you. You drank drinks that had caffeine in it. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to let you in because of that. I mean,
if that's who Buddy is, I'm not sure I'm interested.
And all the times you were mean to Oak State James, that actually almost overcame the caffeine consumption. Brother. But, you were walking down the street and Betty Sue was on the other side of the street that windy day. And I saw it. I was looking down at you. I saw it moved. I mean, that's going to pretty much...
Yeah, Monty, I tested you that day. I'm the one that made it windy, and I wanted to see if you'd look, and you looked. So you're done.
And you also only got 20 times a month in February of 2020. I mean, you were at home. Yeah, can you wait. Jesus, I don't mean to interrupt you, bud. Can we get a recount on that?
Erroneous on both counts.
I'm pretty certain it was 37, sir. Like, I just don't think that's how heaven works. I would be a terrible Mormon. I'd be the Retzloff Mormon. I just would. right? Like
yeah. Let's review. Hey, I went over. Homegirl came over to my place for dinner and a little extracurriculars, and now I can't go to school because of it.
Right?
Come on, dude. Come on,
Monty. I want to let you in my kingdom.
It is what it is.
But all those fantasies you had about Mrs. Miller, your sophomore year science teacher, gonna have to say that's keeping you out.
All those jokes you made about Mrs. Miller's curriculum and how you wanted to pass her test. Yeah, that was, that's going to keep you out, dude.
Did you know there are more direct witnesses to the golden plates than there are to the resurrection? That could be. That could be. No caffeine. That's worse than no pork chops. Now listen, Monty, I like you. You're nice to people. You do a great show. Me and my dad laugh at your show all the time, but you ate them pork chops.
Timothy.
Oh, that motherfucker sent me a video today. Oh my God. Boys.
Dude.
Boys.
Bruh.
This guy.
Dude, as if the Monty ghost wasn't enough, now we got to endure Big Daddy Magic.
Let's go ahead and turn this up. Okay, hold on.
Hey, player.
Of course.
If you make $1 million, and I hope you do, and you live in Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, I want a parking spot in your house, and I want it to be reserved for the one, and it says Victor's the way.
Mm-hmm. Here it comes. Get ready.
I mean, come on. You make $1 million, the only thing I want is a parking spot. Oh, and I need to be in your will. If I outlive you, you have to make sure that Jake buries me in a red long sleeve, red logo Bills jersey. Swear to God. That's all I want. Everything else is covered. All right. Up and away. Victor's on the way.
You guys, okay, we've gone from, hey, I just want a couple of 3X Buffalo Bills red long sleeve t-shirts to you're putting me in the will and I get a parking spot at the crib. Listen, I just want to publicly address these allegations. If
I personally believe.
Yeah, in the Iraq, if BDM outlives me, I had better have gotten killed by a ghost, or like there had live
in a what if scenario.
There had better been an incident, because if I die of natural causes before this dude,
F around and find out.
It was my time to go. It was my time to go.
Good for you, buddy.
You're right. Like, bro, all I want is a parking spot and a spot in the will. And Jake's got to bury me in a long sleeve red Buffalo Bills jersey. And you have to pay for those jerseys.
We may have to go short in a couple cases.
Dude, I'm not, bro. I can personally guarantee you that you're never going to be in Monty's will. I can guarantee you that. And I can also guarantee you, you're not going to have a map, such as in like, to Monty's future home in SoCal, so that you can park on his driveway in a designated spot.
That has a big number one in a picture of Victor Wembanyama's joint. I don't think that's happening. But is BDM getting into heaven? He's a good dude. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, besides the public intoxication thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if public intoxication is the norm, I mean, then that's totally fine.
Marcus Wilson for $5. Monty, with what is going on where you are at, it's time you move to Fresno.
Yeah, wow.
Well, because Reedley's got a lot more to offer than Seattle.
Why don't we just go one step further and just go out to Barstow? I mean, while we're at it.
Monty, you know what I think? If you move to Fresno, no ghost is stupid enough to show up here. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean,
well, that's the issue, isn't it?
How Fresno State is doing this season, sitting at 5-2 on the verge of bowl eligibility. Does Matt Entz leave next year with similar success? You're just getting ready, aren't you?
Bro, you literally just said on the verge of bowl eligibility.
It's Fresno State. That's a big deal there. You
Dude,
know,
if
Gavin Newsom had turned on the water, everything they'd be in. If Gavin Newsom had turned on the water, they would be in a bowl already.
Well, listen, Monty, you're on the verge of bowl eligibility. So once you get into heaven by getting bowl eligible, wherever, 2 holes is up next, I mean, come on.
Ross on TikTok. Do you think they'll let you shoot up your Zep bound in heaven? I'm hoping if I get into heaven, and I'm not gonna, I'm hoping if I get into heaven, we get the music, right? When I show up, they'll be like,
bro, if you get into heaven.
From Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 6'3" and 191 pounds. Here's Monty. Does everybody at the gates of heaven get a public address announcer? And now from
It's like the Bulls announcer on the Jordan teams.
From Reedley, California, Mark Wilson. He's a Fresno State fan who once was on the verge of bowl eligibility. Oh my God. Chewy Gonzalez. And now, Chewy Gonzalez from Encino, California. He's a Dodger fan. All right, you're going to hell. Good to see you, though. All right. Felipe, we said don't even think about it. Okay.
What now? Let me tell you what now.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. My guy Calamoni gives 20 Monty Show members. Do you have different names? Calford, who's definitely going to heaven.
Yeah.
Gives 20 Monty Show memberships. Oh, boy, Jake's frozen. And Calamoni gives 20 Monty Show memberships. He liked it. Raise the roof, bitches. Exactly. What's your walk-up music? Can you walk up to 21? Okay, and now from Round Lake Beach, Illinois,
21.
Heaven's biggest 21 fan. He's softer than Drake. Here's Shaky Two Shakes. Like, what is your walkout music to heaven? And are you here's the other question. Are you naked when you walk into the gates of heaven?
God, I sure hope not. Jesus. That's rough.
Yeah, because this thing's heavy. I don't want to have to carry it, and I'm not
Come on, dude.
In the dirt. I already mentioned it yesterday. I'm not letting it drag through the mud, right? Okay. My sound music is, and his name is Chewy Gonzalez.
His name is John C.
Oh my God. I grew up in the Coachella Valley. Fight on. Yeah, hey, the Coachella Valley's where it's not.
Stay hard.
Did you hear Oak State no longer has a web page? They can't string 3 W's together. Hey-o! Wow. Oh my God. This has been a weird day. The ghost is back.
Clearly.
Okay, here's the question in the comments section. When you go to heaven, are you wearing clothes? Because on the rapture, we found out you were not wearing clothes. Because you had to be naked in the front yard, not under power lines.
But we're all still here, so clearly,
Oh, Jimi Hendrix. Yes, Gumby. I used to open my national radio show with that. Folks need to stop mentioning current Tulane coach for job opening. He's only in his 2nd year. Willie Fritz, now a Houston coach, was the guy who turned Tulane around. Okay. Eric Wasikowski says he's going to heaven to the night moves. Night move. Doo, doo, doo. Never mind that no Michigan fan gets into heaven.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
It's that whole stole nudes porn thing. Yeah, that kind of excludes you guys.
I get that.
I
get it.
I bet if you want to be wearing clothes in heaven, you'll be wearing clothes in heaven. That'd be my guess, Nate. That'd be my guess. Big John Buck. Hey, Big John. It's time. It might be time to call an exorcist. Could be. Who do you love? The GT version. Okay.
In God's name,
George
image,
T.
and likeness.
Walk Up Song 2001 A Space Odyssey. Woo!
We really did.
And now he's going to hell because he turned his back on Mike Gundy. And he admires another man's cock. It's TCU fan James. James, hard left down the escalator to hell. Tell T-Boone we said no. Hey, God, T-Boone sent me back up. He wants to know if you'll take this envelope full of oil money to get him into heaven. We said no. Absolutely not.
Even if you ride down there in your shit box.
You should have thought about that while you were driving your Chapo shitbox. Oh.
It's over.
James gets to the gate and they ask, you not going to be switching teams anytime soon? Listen, James.
You can't be a fan of Jesus Christ and the devil, dude.
My name is Peter, and I decide who gets in here. And my friend Jesus asked me a question about you. He wants to know, are you going to flip to Satan the way that you flipped to TCU?
Play Miss Teen South Carolina.
And we already know, James, that your judgment is questionable and not of a Christian, as you were smashing a Walmart manager who then smashed another Walmart manager, and that's why she dumped you.
Oh, bro.
T-Boone gave me back of the envelope calculations from the other side, you know. James, dude, TCU is where Christian is their middle name. Being a Christian does not make you a good person, James.
That's the bottom line.
Oh, bro. Dude.
James, I want to let you into my kingdom, James.
You're out of your freaking mind.
But I watch the Monty Show every day. I subscribe thanks to Calamoni. And my problem is,
the lie detector test determined that was a lie.
My problem is, you supported Ollie Gordon not being suspended for games. What kind of Christian would do that?
You made a mockery of the stairs to heaven by saying he should just run stairs as a punishment.
Now, I know that you've seen Preston Stone's cock. Do you have any photos on your phone? I just want to verify that. It's not that I want to see it. I did. I saw him when he was a baby, and I created him. But I don't remember it bending left. Yeah, I don't remember it bending left. You got any photos I can look at, James?
I need a dick.
James, you bring this on yourself, dude.
Don't fuck.
Paul Feinbaum will just reincarnate here again, and again. Yes, that's right. Mormons go to TCU, James. Okay. He said, dude, TCU is where Christian is their middle name. Who cares? It's not Christ. It's the Christians I worry about.
Bro, you understand that you're going to have to roll up to the gates of heaven and sell them on all those days you spent in the rectory, right? Like,
James, what were you doing in the rectory?
And, pardon me,
why did you have a poster of Diddy in your bathroom? I see everything, James.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
James, have you ever heard of Pinocchio? That's why your teeth are so big, because you're full of... Never mind.
No.
Anyway. Well, God, I can be a fan of TCU because I went to seminary there, like I told everybody repeatedly, so they know that I'm a seminary student.
You got to get stroked.
James, don't speak about semen on this here platform.
We know these guys are going to come a lot.
Joey Harper says, ipso facto, it's mine. That's right. Aaron Rodgers plays tonight, by the way.
Ipso facto, it's mine.
Are you going to be upset when Aaron Rodgers wins tonight, Jake?
Nope, because he's not playing anybody.
Is Football Friday going to be like a lonely show for you when Aaron Rodgers wins the AFC championship tonight? Yeah, I mean,
it took Joe being out the whole year, the Ravens having the worst season of their franchise, and it's just what it is. And then there's the Browns who are going to Brown. So, it's fine.
Seminary in the Rectory. James, were you performing seminary in the Rectory? Where
I'm gonna get medieval on your ass.
Where is AA Ron? If you go to heaven and you don't get in, does Ving Rhames, like this Marcellus Wallace show up at the gate with the lead pipe?
Let me tell you what now.
James, let me tell you.
Let me tell you what now.
You want to know what's next?
I'm gonna get medieval on your ass.
Well, I just rooted for. I wanted Monty to be happy, so I rooted for all of his teams.
Right, and then they all died.
But that wasn't what I meant to happen.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Fuck you.
Right? Okay. Oak State James Chewy, if you read my comment from earlier, you would have seen that all I said, I don't deserve grace.
We don't take any shit.
Please don't preach. Like, James, it's okay not to profess. And thou in this exact moment therein, Oak State James stood at the altar of the Monty Show and begged for grace and humility. Good dude, like, I don't deserve.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
I really hope you revert to your hedonism when you're done with the seminary thing.
Y'all reading all this cap ass shit.
You were much more enjoyable when we were talking about why you smashed a Walmart manager and you weren't talking about how you needed more grace.
James walked into the Supercenter Walmart and made a decision.
Right? Like, I want Jesus.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
I warned you. I came to you in a vision. Stop eating at Buc-ee's. Did you listen? No. I therefore tore a hole in your colon.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Thou shalt not eat at Buc-ee's.
But, okay, how about some humor instead? Oh, be humorous. Yes, be fun.
I thought this was incredibly funny. But
if Tony Todd, a.k.a. Candyman, is at the gates, that's when you have realized that you effed up. That's exactly right.
That's true, dude.
The Monty Show logo is dangerously close to making a halo around Monty's head. I am your father, Lou.
Dude, don't encourage the ghost to mess up the sign, okay? We don't need that.
Please don't.
Yeah, we don't need that.
I wish I could make it red. I do wish this light could be red or something. Or orange or sunlight or something. All right, couple other things we need to get to. Real quick, do you guys believe that Billy Napier can save his job at Florida? I thought it was interesting. Florida boosters are saying no. But apparently there is disagreement that if Billy Napier wins his games, and I think it is incredibly unlikely. I actually think it is remarkably unlikely. If Billy Napier runs the table, right, and beats Mississippi State, Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Florida State, and goes 8-4 and 7-2 in the SEC, do you think that keeps his job, Jake? Because on the Oak State James scale of awesomeness, he would be bowl eligible.
Yeah, that shouldn't keep his job. He should be fired either way. They're not good enough, and I don't think the development's happening. And I just think that there's guys available who want that job. Theoretically, if Florida came available, Lane would be all over that. So I just think it's. I just if you're a Florida fan and you're trying to find a way to sell yourself on Billy, that's how you know it's time for him to go. You know what I mean? It's just it's pretty simple.
Man, the Brewers are running all over glass now. 1-1, top of the fourth. Durbin steals second. Runner in scoring position, 2 out. Jake Bowers at the dish. So
yeah, well, I mean, what do the Brewers have to lose, dude? This is their season right here.
yeah, I'd be running. You have to steal bases in today's inability to throw to first base by rule. You have to steal bases. You have to run. And as I know, the Chicago Cubs, such as and like, and we are, were the number one base stealing team in I believe in the majors this year. And it did us no good, thanks to James. But anyway, I'll keep you up to date on that. James, why does Oak State fan wear orange? It's so they can go hunting after the game and pick up trash during the week. So now you're hating.
Are you trolling or are you being serious right now?
I like the fact that you hate Oak State fan now is amazing. Yes, he can. Who are they going to hire? Well, I think Florida's a marquee job the minute it's open.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, Garrett Riley, Lane Kiffin, I mean, I think that there are a number of guys. I think, wow, and Jake Bauer strikes out looking nice at bat there, Charlie. I think, Jed Fish, I think could be a top candidate for that job.
Would have to be.
Yeah, I mean, even with, as good as he's got Washington going to this point, I mean, I just think that, listen, man, when the SEC comes calling, it's hard to turn that down, bro. It just is.
Yeah, the answer is I don't know. I don't think Billy Napier can save his job. I truly, I don't even know what that looks like. I mean, if you really get into the minutia, the mechanics of winning 6 straight games to end your SEC season, I don't possibly understand. I don't even think a 2-loss team is going to play for the conference championship. Because you look at Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Alabama, I think are undefeated in the league. And you have a buttload of 1-loss teams in front of them. And I'm waiting for this to load. Vandy, Oklahoma, Missouri, Texas, Tennessee, LSU, Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Are ahead of Napes and Florida. I don't see any way that Billy Napier can save his job.
Yeah, I just think it sends the wrong message. That's the thing. I mean, if it was a deal where like you hadn't had the year you had last year, and like you had a great year last year, this year was hampered by injuries, or like there was something that's out of his control that happened that is why they lost games. Then it's like, all right, well, that was out of his control. This isn't necessarily on Billy himself. He's still doing a great job with what he has. Okay, all right, but it's not. That's the problem. It's much more of a, hey, like, you find yourself in a situation where you're just not winning enough games, and part of that is the lack of development, at the QB position, and I just think overall execution, and I just think Florida has been average for too long now. You have not been Florida since Tim Tebow left. And that to me is just unacceptable, especially in today's day and age, especially when you've got the kind of boosters they have, when you have the level of program you're talking about your building getting a great renovation now. You saw that come out. Like, there's momentum in this program, but you do need to start winning games now.
Well, and I think DJ Lagway playing very well the last 2 weeks to beat Texas and lose to A&M. I mean, even in the A&M loss, he played pretty well. But then you gave up 34 points and you absolutely melted down in the second half. That's not a great look for you, right? Like, so my feeling is that I just don't see any way he would keep his job.
No.
No,
and I just think it sends the wrong message.
Fight on Natties. Napier's buy $21 million, then $80 million plus for a new head coach. Are they willing to shell that kind of money out? Yeah, Florida's got it. I mean, if you're Penn State and you're at, and I think people forget, do you guys understand that it's not just the head coach's buyout? You understand you got to pay his entire staff all of their contracts. Penn State is into James Franklin for probably $225 million. I mean, do the math. It's not a cheap endeavor to, when you overpay a guy such as in like Curt Cignetti, you're probably $200 million to get rid of his staff and bring in a new one.
Certainly.
Right? I mean, it's hundreds of millions of dollars. And I think that's the biggest question. But yeah, Florida's got, these teams have it because they have boosters who want to win. And I think that it's why I don't think Sharon Moore gets fired, even if they don't win another game this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he gets fired until their punishments are over, till they get through all that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. You know, I think it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very tough to justify the salaries in this next coaching cycle. I mean, I hope people understand that the money that is going to be paid in buyouts it's going to be offensive. There's going to be probably 20 P4 jobs open. I think in the NFL, you're probably looking at 12 new head coaches. I mean, doesn't baseball? I think baseball has 9 openings for managers right now. 9. And the season's not over. 9. There's that music again.
Here we go.
That is crazy. Yeah, it's just in my headphones. It's not in the building. It's in my headphones. Like, it's bizarre.
That's weird, dude.
That is bizarre. Did you guys see Caleb Williams and Troy Aikman, this little mini battle they had? So the Bears, the Chicago Bears, beat Washington on Monday Night Football. As part of that process, the certain players, the big names on both teams, meet with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. And a lot of times it's not in person. It'll be a phone call or a FaceTime because schedules don't match up, travel schedules. So Troy Aikman wants to talk to Caleb Williams. Caleb says, okay, can't do it in person. I'm going to give you a call. Caleb's side of the story is I was at the facility late lifting and watching tape and trying to really prepare for this defense because Caleb now, as we know, is on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He's working like 12 to 15 hours a day on preparation. And a lot of it is this understanding, knowing the playbook for the other defense. Like it is, he says it's become a thing where he's using VR, he's using all the available film. Like, so he's really wrapped up in film study and you see the result. Like Monday night, you saw the result. He knew where the football should go. Those clearing routes, the route where Luther Burden runs from the left, really offset, not the slot, but offset left. He runs all the way from the left across and up. It's the Tyreek Hill route where you run across and kind of up. Mm-hmm. And Caleb threw it off the wrong foot across the field, hits him in the chest, big first down. Caleb played probably his best game as a professional quarterback on Monday night. All night long. Troy Aikman ripping him, criticizing him. Not good enough. Got to do this. Look at that. He missed this. He missed that. Never said a positive thing about Caleb Williams or the Bears offense. Now we know why. Because Caleb never got around to connecting with Troy Aikman. Left him a voicemail late on Saturday. Actually did call him, but left a voicemail. They never connected before the game. Troy, I guess, tried to call him on Sunday, but Caleb says, hey, I don't answer my phone on Sunday because I am really working on preparation. So they never talked. And Troy Aikman took it out on him on the broadcast. Do you buy that, Jake?
Yeah, I think things like this happen for sure. I think that you watched a ton of that game. I didn't watch a ton of that game. So
I watched every snap of that game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, watch a ton of it, but I do think things like this happen. I think that broadcasters, specifically high profile broadcasters like Aikman, are used to getting their way. And I think that, old heads like to lean on the young guy and say, hey, I don't care if I reached out late, I'm reaching out, so you should respect that. And, you should make it happen. And with all due respect to Troy, he's not in the game anymore. He doesn't know what it's like. Yeah, I mean, he didn't know what it's like to quarterback in today's game. He knows what it's like to quarterback when he played. And I think that it is, I just think that it's just not a great look, bro. I mean, it's not a great look to constantly criticize people and like constantly, be negative about a guy during a live football game.
I would agree.
Now it looks worse because he played well and you were still negative, right? I mean, that's the obvious thing. I mean, if he had played poorly, then you'd have gotten away with this and no one would be asking questions. But I don't know. I think that Caleb Williams is a very controversial figure in a lot of different ways. I think that haters will say that he sucks and he's a bust and didn't live up to it. I think, you can't
say anymore.
You can't say that anymore. I agree. I've never been a huge fan of his antics occasionally from time to time. I think that he just does things a little differently than the standard franchise quarterback model in the NFL, which, again, if you're winning, it's fine. It's not a big deal. But it's just not my cup of tea. But that doesn't mean I think he sucks. I think he's a really good quarterback, and I think he's very capable. And I'm going to say again what I said when the Ben Johnson news came out for this team. He's only going to get better under Ben Johnson, and I think that that's what people should be focused on. So, it's Troy Aikman. Man, if you want to be a red ass about it, cool. If you feel like you've earned the right to do that, like, okay, cool. But as someone who didn't grow up in the Troy Aikman era, he's certainly not the first guy I'd go to listen to a tape breakdown or something like that. He's just a guy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is very interesting. Very interesting. Libertarian, BYU will win.
Tomorrow, bro.
And you know what?
Yeah, has this line moved at all? Is this line still the same?
It is on ESPN Bet. It is not moved a single digit. It is -3 for Utah, 49.5. And ESPN Bet usually is pretty close to the composite.
Yeah, let me just check. I'm just going to see.
So I have now, this is an interesting conversation. I have now watched every one of Bear Bachmeier's reps. And he is not a ready quarterback. I have real concerns about his ability to operate in front of that Utah defense. And when he has the ability to set his feet against a basic scheme, because he's played a lot of base defense this year. Bear Bachmeier's faced a lot of base defense. And I think some of that is a lack of respect from the opponent.
Mm-hmm.
He does his best work running the ball and using RPO to create misdirection. And his weakness has been zone disguise, where they show man and then they drop into zone. He almost always tucks and runs on that. His best throws, and he's had a couple in zone to the boundary, but his best throws have clearly been man. And Utah disguises the hell out of their defenses. Morgan Scalley is an elite play caller. Witt and Morgan, their schematics, their X's and O's, their ability to tinker with quarterbacks, pretty significant. And I think that Bear Bachmeier, if you're a BYU fan, we're finding out this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I think watching this game, this is the game of the year in the Big 12 now, because it is an elimination game for Utah. Every week's an elimination game for Utah.
I think it's an elimination game for both of them, if we're being honest, because you lose this game with the games you got in front of you, you're not coming back.
I am very concerned about. I'm really concerned about having watched. There's just some things that concern me about the way that Bear Bachmeier diagnoses defenses or doesn't.
Well, and I think part of that is he's learning too. He's a young guy.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I'm not saying this is who he's always going to be.
Right. Yeah.
I'm talking about right now because what matters.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
Saturday on the ground in Provo is what matters.
Yeah.
And the plays he does, like I thought, even his ball fake, the touchdown, the game-winning touchdown, or was it the touchdown that sent them to overtime? I think it was a touchdown that sent them to overtime. The ball fake was a wretched ball fake. It was not a good ball fake, and it didn't fool the defense. BYU's offense blocked that play impeccably well. I mean, it was really well executed by BYU. It was a really good design and really good execution by BYU to execute that play in the conditions, in the rain in Tucson was really impressive. He was absolutely awful throwing the football at Arizona. I mean, really, you guys, when I say bad, his mechanics, his feet and his arm were out of sync, and he didn't know what he was looking at. And a lot of it was Arizona showing man dropping into zone. And there were some plays where he made some nice throws, but the bad throws really stood out. And now it's multiplying. We're seeing, and the thing that worries me a little bit is he hasn't faced a defense that could penalize him for bad throws. He hasn't had I always refer to Utah's defense as weaponized. They're able to catch the football, return the football, make tackles, tackle the football, punch the football. Like their defense comes absolutely armed. BYU has not played that yet. They have not. This is by far the most physical defensive front they're going to face. It is not close until they get to Lubbock. I have a lot of concerns about Bears' readiness to take on the ferocity of this defense. And I think that Utah, the thing that really stands out to you is Utah's coverage has gotten a lot better. And it'll be interesting. Aaron Wilson for $2. I've got a video in the works. It'll be the best one yet. Let's go. Aaron also gifted one Monty Show membership. Aaron.
Nice job, bro.
Thank you, A-Dub. Always good to see you. America's favorite mailman, Aaron Wilson. A huge Texas Tech fan and a legend on this show. We will look forward to that video, sir. And now I want you to know the expectations have to go up. Because Aaron Wilson's video work is, you're not beating what Aaron Wilson's done. You know, get out of my way, dude. Yeah, you're not beating that. So, you know, I just have a lot of concerns. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I have a lot of concerns about Bears' ability to operate against this Utah defense.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that I think we have definitely seen is Dampier doesn't get rattled. We saw two throws against Texas Tech that were dangerous throws, and he paid dearly. But when the most pressure's on him, he makes great plays. And Jack Kelly, just talking to the folks in Provo, I don't see how he's 100%. Nobody's 100%. I don't see how he plays good football. If this collarbone AC joint thing is what's truly with him, that's a big concern for me.
Yeah.
A big concern for me because Isaiah Glasker's not healthy. He is playing injured, and if Raider Dumani's not healthy, and I think you're going to have to possess the football if you're BYU, and LJ Martin's going to have a hell of a game. And I hope he does. And I love, you guys know I'm a huge LJ Martin fan. I think he might be the best back in the conference, but we'll see. I think he's vitally important.
Yeah. And does Aaron Roderick show up? You know, is the play calling good? Is the play calling consistent? You know, you can spend all week talking about making decisions on analytics, but we know your track record. So,
yeah.
we'll
By
see
the
what
way,
that looks
Jack
like.
Kelly is not on the injury report. Raider Dumani is doubtful. Moa's still out. I mean, their injury report's pretty light. But Nate Ritchie's out. I mean, there's not a lot of the injury report's pretty light in this game. So we'll see what that looks like.
It's a holy war, bro. You're not missing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is good news because that means that Utah made it out of the Arizona State game without anybody being added to the injury report. So you really need that. You know, it'll be interesting to see how LJ, because I thought LJ Martin had a really good game against Arizona, even though I think they didn't use him enough. But it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how this game plays out. We'll have a lot more obviously on it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But this is the game of the year. Man, it's like 5 of you have DM'd me about Ace Frehley. The Ace Frehley, the legendary Kiss member, their lead guitarist, died at 74 years old today. Sucks. You know, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. So,
yeah. Rest
in peace, my friend. 19, I think he was 19. That would that make him?
May you get by the gates.
1949, 1951. Because it's 2025. Yeah. So I mean, the guy was an absolute wizard with a guitar in his hand. So, rest in peace, my friend. No LJ Martin show, no chance. Okay. I agree with you about Utah, but Utah hasn't either. Oh, sure they have. Sure they have. I think when you look at dynamic defenses, obviously, as you mentioned, Texas Tech. But when you look at Arizona State, I think when you look at their performance against Arizona State should really be terrifying, because when you start understanding how they took apart Arizona State, and Arizona State, I think, is a middle of the pack. I think they're probably middle of the pack defensively. But you got to remember that Utah moved the ball on Texas Tech. It's not like Utah didn't move the ball. Obviously, the Spencer Fano illegal man downfield penalty crushed you.
Yeah.
But that took back a huge passing play. But you look at the BYU. I don't know. I think Utah has played good, not great opponents. I think BYU just hasn't been tested on any level. Like I'll continue to say Arizona, the Arizona game was the first game where Bear saw real adversity. Because, Colorado's just not, in my opinion, Colorado is just not a team. Like, they're another middle of the pack defense in the Big 12, but they're not a team that
should have been a 10-point win, bro.
Right? Yeah, they're not a team that scares you. And Arizona State's defense, I think, is significantly better than Colorado's. I mean, I'd have to go and look at the numbers, but yardage-wise, I would assume Arizona State gives up less yards a game, but maybe less points a game, rather.
I think. Listen, Bear hasn't seen a defense that can disguise the way Utah can. I think that Utah played one of its worst games against Tech in a lot of different ways. Just the not being disciplined, turning the football over. I mean, there were a lot of things in that game that Utah did really poorly. And that's not to take anything away from Tech. I mean, Tech generated 2 turnovers in that game off really poor ball security technique by Utah. So it's like one way or the other. you can blame it on either side, but the reality is it was a turnover generated by Tech's defense. And I think, Texas Tech is clearly the best team in the conference right now. And I think that's definitive.
Clearly.
And I think, I think this game, the Holy War, this is one of two things for Bear Bachmeier, man. And BYU fan needs to be prepared for this, because this is either your boy's going to get exposed and we're going to see, hey, like, this is a guy that's not prepared to make adjustments on the fly when he's dropping back, right? Like, or he is. Maybe he is, and maybe this is a coming out party. Maybe he looks really good, and maybe he's got 250 in this game and 2-3 touchdowns, and he looks really good. But I just, it's one thing to be like, hey, yeah, Utah's defense, was on the field too much against Tech and couldn't stop them. It's another thing to say that they're going to get beat by a freshman quarterback who is still trying to settle. And that's where I know this is at Lavelle, but I have a lot of problems with BYU winning this game unless Utah doesn't stop the run. If LJ Martin gets going in this game, or if BYU somehow finds a way to find a lot of rushing yards, then I think Utah's in trouble. But I have trouble seeing Utah allowing BYU to run the football.
We'll find out. I mean, I think Utah is very good at scheming quarterbacks. And I think we saw what they did to the fact that they held, 34 points or something like that. They held Texas Tech 12 points under their number. Yeah, we'll see. It's all opinion. You're not wrong, right? Texas Tech is the best opponent on all Big 12 schedules. So discount teams that lose to Tech at your own peril. Truth.
I agree.
Truth. Word on the hill. At the U. Is Kyle decided not to say anything in his presser about Bear because he and Morgan want him to continue to do exactly what he's been doing? Well, he doesn't talk about BYU ever.
Yeah.
We talked about this last year. It is his MO to just not mention BYU and not talk about their players.
He's not going to acknowledge their existence, bro.
Yeah. And I, frankly, I have no problem with it. I think it is the exact right thing to do.
BYU quarterback Bear Bachmeier, and you see. I'm just going to focus on us this week, our guys, our coaches. So I'm not going to give much thought on the opponent this week. And so, really, you have to ask them, what they think of Bear.
Yeah, and you have to ask BYU what they think of Utah.
I like Utah. In fact, I hate them. I hate everything about them. I hate their program. I hate their fans. I hate everything. So it felt really good to send those guys home. They didn't deserve it. It was our time, and it was our time to win. We deserved it. We played as hard as we could tonight, and it felt really good, again, to send them home, to get them out of here. So, game will always remember. I mean, I think the whole university and their fans and the organization is classless. I think, they threw beer on my family and stuff last year and did a whole bunch of nasty things, and I don't respect them.
So Max isn't getting into heaven.
No, Max isn't getting into heaven because of Best Buy. All hail glorious college football overlord Cody Campbell.
Okay. And his dumbass commercials.
You don't like his commercials?
No. I think
Laugh Now is absolutely dialed.
Yeah, I think that last commercial he ran, I think I took it out. We may still have it, but that last commercial he ran, I just think is not like, what are you doing with that commercial? I just don't understand
what he's trying to accomplish.
Yeah, what are you trying to do there? Going after commissioners of leagues. They're not the ones that are the problem, bro.
Yeah, I would agree with you, and we don't need to play it. I don't want to give free love, but I just don't see any. I like what Cody's done. I think that he's done a nice job of bringing Tech football back, and it frankly, it's exactly what Texas Tech needed. They needed an injection of cash.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. Gooby, the best part about all that is he went on to be a coke addict. You're rooted. You're happy.
Yes, you did.
You're happy that somebody had a cocaine addiction.
Seems legit.
That dude's like 30 years old. Okay. BYU are the good guys, by the way. Okay. Okay. Eggie, I think full package run game is BYU's chance, including Bear running. I don't think there are many BYU fans thinking a freshman will beat Utah throwing it. My concern is that Bear is taking hits he just should not be taking. I mean, at what point do you teach him to avoid big hits?
Throw the ball away.
At what point? And
Apparently
some
never.
guys will some guys will never be that. Right? You know, I don't know. Chad Perling, quick update on weight. My weight? I'm overweight because of this mustache. I'm trying to get out of puberty. My weight is good. I am at 37 pounds down. Yeah, I'm on Zepbound. He's asking because I use Zepbound. I've talked about it on the show. It's good. You know, I started August 2nd, September 2nd, October 2nd. So I'm on 2.5 months exactly. You guys understand that 5 weeks from today is Thanksgiving? 2 weeks from today is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. I think it's interesting how real food addiction is. I don't know if people understand that. We're all food addicted on some level, because when you take Zepbound works on your stomach and your mind. It's the magic of
what happened.
Like my microphone is literally turning right now. I tighten it and it just automatically is. Anyway, the magic of Zepbound is that it works on your mind, so you don't think about food. And it's one of those things where it's you have to do it. And with weight loss in general, weight loss always comes down to calories in, calories out. Zepbound's no different than that. Zepbound just handicaps the calories in because it tricks your brain by manipulating the hormones in your brain and the signals that your brain sends to your stomach to say, I'm hungry. And it tricks your stomach by slowing down digestion by manipulating the enzymes in your stomach. So it's a multi-factor GLP-1. And the crazy thing is, I don't ever think about food. I'm never hungry. I don't overeat. I eat whole food. I don't eat out. What is the worst thing I've eaten since I moved here? Probably down on Pike Marketplace. There's an Asian fusion. They have steamed buns with pork in it. That's probably
so
the worst
good.
thing I've eaten. I've had 2 bowls of chowder, but other than that, I haven't really. You don't want. What did I used to eat, Jake? Like donuts, candy, or I never think about sugar.
Fries.
Never do. I don't really ever eat fried food because I just don't have I don't. The other thing that I don't do is I don't snack anymore. I don't buy chips. I don't buy macadamia nuts or granola. I just don't buy that stuff. I don't have it around. Like there's a banana sitting here. Right. I eat grapes. I eat bananas. I had one of the best apples I've ever had last night. Like I'm eating whole food. So what is that doing? It's bringing my calorie count down. Like today, this week is the first time in probably, I kid you not, probably 8, 9, 10 months I had pasta, and I had a whole wheat rice pasta with 93.7 turkey that was out of this world. That's really all I mean, you can't take Zepbound. Like, I know people who are on Zepbound who just eat like shit. And they're like, I have all these side effects. No, you don't. You're eating like shit, so you don't feel good. When you overeat on Zepbound, dude, you feel terrible. You just feel awful. If you eat, I would assume, I don't know, I haven't eaten fried food, or like, I'm going to the butcher's table in Seattle this weekend, and they have these French fry sticks that I eat when I go there. They're amazing. I'll have like a petite filet and some mashed potatoes, and it's amazing. But I don't eat sugar. I just don't. Like, I don't really eat, I don't eat candy bars. When I was playing golf, I used to play golf. When I was playing golf,
now.
What's that?
Pickleball now, right?
No, actually, I never play pickleball. Jake had a stroke because I said today I play pickleball. I was kidding. But anyway, the point is, I think food addiction is real. I think food addiction is very real. I think it is.
It is.
I think it's very real. How do you feel about Thursday Night Football, Pitt, Cincinnati, Jake?
Yeah, it shouldn't be close. It's not much of a game, in my opinion. I think that's Pitt all day. I understand that Joe looked nice last week, but it really
looked nice.
Yeah, I mean, it should not be that close. If you're legit, you should handle it.
I think Pitt wins cover over. I don't think there's any doubt. That game kicks off in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I have no doubt. It's at Paycor in Cincinnati. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. The number's 44.5. Pitt's favored by 4.5. It opened at 5. I mean, you're a touchdown favorite on the road. That's essentially what it is.
As you should be. As you should be. I mean, what makes us think that Cincinnati is going to win this game? Nothing.
Yeah. Is that a banana on your desk, or are you just happy to see me? Both. Frankly, when I saw you give to the membership, it moved. Bananas are very, very appealing.
See what he did there.
I'm going to save Kim Kardashian for tomorrow. Not the pee.
Nice.
The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates. Football Friday tomorrow, baby. Let's go. Big, big day. Holy War picks. All kinds of Big 12. All kinds of Big 10. Go Steelers. Go Warriors and go Mariners. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.